place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
All right. Welcome to another explosive week of great dialogue. And I'm super excited for this week's special guests that are on with us tonight. These gentlemen have dedicated their time, their energy to making sure that we as a community have this great knowledge that they're about to give us. I wanted to make sure that we put together this show so that people understand the importance of why this show will be a great show in hindsight, for what's to come later on down the road. This is going to be a kind of a blueprint, especially in all the Black communities nationwide, even globally. All my African brothers, people from the diaspora, the Caribbean islands, this information can be as very well needed for you guys as well. So if you're joining in, we welcome you to join us, and thanking you guys for joining us on this great information that you guys can also share with your friends and family. If they don't know about it, give them the link, give them the broadcast. It'll be still up for future days. Maybe you can't make it tonight, but you listen to it another day. And then probably 2 weeks again, you just listen to it again as a refresher. Because once everything comes into play, we might not have the internet to go and look out if we have a power outage. So it's very important for everybody to grasp this knowledge just as they get it now while everything is up and running, because these gentlemen are going to tell you how to survive when you have a power outage, because they have been in situations before and went through the community, as you guys will hear their testimony of helping out the elders in the community and making sure that everybody is good in that community. And that information is going to be provided for you tonight, so that way you can do the same for your community wherever you are. And I remember I was talking to Amon earlier before, and he was also telling me that, information like this is not only for people, they think it's because you're in the suburbs or out secluded, in the woods, that things like this is good. But also this information is great for if you're in apartment settings where multiple people in apartment settings, they're going to show you how to maneuver in a clustered area versus as well as an open area. So it's going to be a lot of great information here between Amon and Nate. So please pay attention. Take this time right now to go grab a book, a notepad, jot some of this stuff down. And again, the playback will be back for you guys for extra knowledge and to embed in your head, so it becomes a lifestyle and not just something you just do whenever it occurs. All right, so that's what we want to get here. So with that being said, I do want to go around and acknowledge my great co-hosts, both Major and Bobby. Shout out to you guys. What up? What's going on?
Yes, sir.
And
in here.
And as you guys will know about Amon, and we have Instructor Nate as well, and they'll definitely let you guys know more about them. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Amon. He is such a great guy, man. When I met this gentleman, when you talk about stand up, a leader, everything that you want to exude as a person, as a human being, and especially a representation of what a strong image of a Black man looks like. This guy exudes it in all aspects. He doesn't talk about it. He actually is about it. Has a wonderful wife now that has, both of them have elevated themselves up to another level. And just the impact of being married to somebody so powerful, it enhances the structure of your household. And I love their videos, and you see the affection, you see the love, you see the protection, the provision exude through their videos. And that's what healthy relationship looks like. And I hope a lot of you guys follow him on his platform, so you guys can see that for yourself and inspire yourself in that direction of hopefully finding love for yourself if you haven't already found that. If you have found that, then you'll see a lot of similarities in how you are in your relationship and how you provide and protect and do the nurturing things for your queen as well. So with that being said, I want to hand it over to Amon. Thank you, brother, for this great show that you're about to give us tonight.
I want to thank you all. Oh, no problem, man. First of all, I want to thank you all for having me on in the first place. Been wanting to be on Manversations for a minute. I'm a very big fan of the show. Very good show. Very intricate, detailed show, especially when it's dealing with relationships. Sometimes I go into the Manversations group. You might see me just say 2 words. Damn it, boy. That's my catchphrase. So I can't believe this. Damn it, boy. That's all I can say on that. But today we're basically going to talk about survival. And that's why I got my good brother Nate on here also, he's a great member of the Nubius Gun Club as our national training officer, but also He runs a company, a trading company called Mountain Tactical. Brother's very savvy on technical information, very extremely savvy, and I'm glad to have him on as well. I guess a good prelude to this show would be something to the effect of giving you a scenario. Let's say you're sitting in your homes, and through the air you hear sirens, air sirens, and all of a sudden your power is off. All of a sudden your phones are glitched, and all of a sudden food is rationed. You can only go point A to point B, and that's it. This is called a SHTF situation, or shit has hit the fan. Okay, that's one scenario. Second scenario, imagine, if you will, that you're sitting in your house and it starts raining outside. This is a realistic one. This happened 2 weeks ago. And you're laying down nice and comfortable. Fans going, AC's blowing, but it's raining outside. Then all of a sudden you hear bleep, and your power's off for 2 weeks.
Dang.
What are you gonna do is the magic question. And sure, some people will say, yeah, man, I can always go to a hotel. What if all the hotels are booked? What if the hotels are out of power? What if the economy crashes the same day the power dies? This is stuff that we're gonna talk about today. All right. So I have my stuff laid out. I'll walk around right quick. This came out of my 2 bug out bags. I have 2, one for me, one for my wife, because I think it's important that my wife has her bug out bag. But if you can look right here, this is everything that is in my bug out bags except for my weapons. Okay. In this situation,
just so that because a lot of people might not be able to see it, can you just run down a little list of what you got in there?
Yeah, I'm about to right now, brother.
Okay.
Basically, what I have laid out, I'm gonna basically show them to you as I go through them. I have my ghillie poncho. My ghillie poncho is if I gotta walk through the woods non-detected. All I gotta do is add some foliage to it, and I'll become part of the environment. Okay. Also, this is the gift that keeps on giving right here. This is called 550 cord. Everybody see that so far?
Yes.
Yep.
It looks like regular old small rope, right? That you would normally throw away, right? Those are lifesavers. Those are absolute lifesavers. You want to keep 550 cord because it can help you tie stuff onto your gear. It can help you, if you don't have a tent, you can actually make a tent with 550 cord and a poncho. Okay. This right here is my lifesaver rope. If we got to go down a hill, this is strong enough to tie around my waist, and somebody can hold it, or I can tie out to something while I can rappel down a hill. This rope right here, designed to hold 550 pounds. Okay. If I'm moving too fast, please let me know. All right. This is my poncho liner. That's my baby right there. Nate knows that. I get sensitive on my poncho liner. All right. This is a nice blanket to have in the field, so something to keep you nice and warm. You can also use it on the floor of your tent. That'll give you a nice insulator inside, because not only your body heat traps in, the poncho liner trap your body heat. So it brings your tent anywhere from, say, if it's 40 degrees outside, it could be an easy 60 degrees inside your tent. Okay.
How much something like that would run?
$32.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
$32. Okay. So here I have an orbital compass. In the Marine Corps, they call it a Lizadic compass. Because remember, we're in a shit hit the fan situation, right? So you don't have the good old GPS anymore. Why? Because you got a big old glitch. And one thing black people need to remember, because we've gotten way comfortable with technology so much to the point that we're dependent on it. I want you all to understand this. You're literally one electromagnetic pulse blast away from being in the prehistoric era.
Yeah.
And these enemies, China, Russia, so on and so forth, they got them. So does the United States. So does the UN. All they got to do is blast it one time, you're done. All the electric vehicles, you're done. All right.
Yeah.
If they really want to stop you, everybody's 1 EMP blast away from being stopped. So you got to know land navigation. You got to know how to move around in the woods with a compass. Whether you have a map in your hand or whether you have to look up in the sky and use this thing called the Polaris 2 method, which is reading your compass off of a star to find out where north is. You got to know that if you want to go north, you look for where tree moss grows. That's north. All right. It's little stuff. You want to know what time it is. You know the highest point of the sun is noon. After that, you go from there. You don't count minutes, you count hours. That's actually a comedic saying behind it. But hours is short for Horus. It's Horus in reverse. Anyway, so here I have a knife, a flintstone, a magnesium strip, and a striker. That is going to be that's your fire. Okay? That is your fire. You want to know how to use it. So I put a bunch of magnesium on here on my little kitchen down here. You see my pot? I got a little magnesium in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got my dryer lint. Why do I have dryer lint? I have dryer lint because dryer lint is a super igniter. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. You keep dryer lint. Whatever you do, keep your dryer lint. Folks, keep your dryer lint. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's from my dryer. From months of dryer lint built up right here.
Okay.
So the thing is, trying to get the same, trying to get it lit up for you right now.
A lot of this stuff is being prepared ahead of time. Like the stuff he's saying is accumulated over time. So you obviously need to get a bag first. You need to get a tent, a sleeping bag. You need to get core stuff first. And paracord, that needs to be in the bag. Like knife, self-defense, all that kind of shit.
Right. So if you look down right now, you see I have a fire going, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do at that point is take some dry foliage and just put it on there. And fan it a little bit. And there's my fire.
Oh, damn. That was quick.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my fire. I'm going to put this outside the driveway. Hopefully HOA don't have a baby. But yeah, hopefully HOA don't have a baby. But it's easily, you can easily put it out with some water. It's not hard. Another thing, another tool that I have, 1 second, y'all. Bear with me. I had to put my fire out. Okay, so another important tool to have is the E tool. This bad boy right here. If you've been in the military, you know this is your baby. All right, you see that?
Okay.
Yeah, it don't look too big. What that is, about 2 feet?
Yeah, it's 2 feet. See?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the beauty of this bad boy is, let me adjust my camera, y'all. Sorry. All right. The beauty of this bad boy is I can make a hook with it like that.
Oh.
And tighten it down. Now it's an axe.
Oh, to dig if you need some action.
E tool, hence entrenching. All right, I can dig a trench with this. I can drill a hole with this. I can also cut with this. And it's also a pretty nice weapon if you run out of ammo. Okay.
Okay.
So another thing, Camelback. This is your baby, a water hydration system. Okay. Now, probably saying, well, Moon, we're in the shit hit the fan situation. You might not be able to buy water everywhere, right? Right. That's why you need a water filtration system. Okay. So what that does, what this little straw right here has, this little straw right here is, this is a charcoal infused system. This is a purification system. So I can literally take a bottle of water, dip it in the water in a river, screw this on top of it, and drink through it.
Wow.
Nice.
And not get sick.
Oh, so that was designed to actually attach to an actual bottle.
Yes, sir.
One, yeah. So this is stuff you got in your bug out bag. Yeah, fact.
See this?
Nice.
Oh.
That's beautiful.
Gotcha.
Because I'm familiar.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the life straws where you can just go ahead and just stick it like right into any water, whatever.
That's
You can
even
just
better.
flip
That's
them
even a
there.
better option.
That's
Yeah.
even better.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Yeah.
even
well,
better.
both
But
are
this,
good
this,
because that's if you
but
want to
listen
go.
to
But
the
that you can
purposes.
actually
I got my
gather
water
your own
bottle.
and just stick.
Screw that right ball right on. No problem.
Mm.
Brilliant.
All right. So that solves your water problem. Now the next question is, we're walking through the woods and I get cut. What do I do? Well, one major tool you should have is an IFAC, first aid kit.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
All right. If you don't know how to make stitches, you need to learn how to make stitches. You need to learn how to do your own sutures. I will give you a good clue though. If you don't know how to do sutures, super glue is a good temporary fix.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Gonna hurt like hell, but it's a good temporary fix. Temporary. You don't want to put too much on it because it will be poison, and you know the rest. But
Correct.
this is the basic kit. Okay. Now the good kit has all your quick clots and things of that nature. And quick clot is basically a pad with chemicals on it designed to clot a wound. Okay, like a open wound. Okay. You got things like open chest wounds, sucking chest wounds, and stuff like that. You don't want to use quick clot in. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Because now you're talking about a life or death scenario. You're talking about breathing. All right. So going further back, let's go to the bedroom. Everybody need to know when the magic happens. In the field, it happens right here, with your sleeping bag. Okay. You need to have sleeping bags. This is stuff that I'm telling y'all that you need to have stashed. I have this stuff stashed, literally. If we gotta go, I can grab my weapons bag, all my gear, we can go. If Anubis is going camping, I can grab my gear, throw it in the truck that night of, and we're ready to go.
Mm.
Okay. Also, lights. I want to talk about flashlights for a second. You see that? It's kind of bright, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a tactical situation, you don't want that.
Yeah.
This is about as bright as you want it to be.
Okay.
You want red lens. Reason why I say red lens is it's an infrared. It's enough for you to see what's in front of you, but not enough to give your position away.
Very
okay.
good.
You got to remember, if you are in a shit hit the fan situation, you have to be a ghost. You got to learn how to move. Right.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to move like a ghost. So are you sloshing through the woods? No. You're walking through very quietly. Okay. When you use the restroom, learn how to dig holes. Okay. Learn how to dig holes. Learn how to cover your tracks. Learn that if you have fires or anything like that, you put them out immediately and bury everything. Reason being is because human hunters look for certain things like fecal matter. We look for stuff like tracks. We look for stuff like where somebody could probably urinating stations, food stations, open fire, smoke, anything that resembles human interaction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even the way you move in the water. Again, do not slosh in the water. Splash, splash. No. I'm listening for that. Okay. I'm listening for you to slosh in water. I'm listening for you to go swimming in water. I'm listening for a baby crying. I'm listening for people screaming. I'm listening for a woman arguing with her husband. I'm listening to a man be over boisterous with his wife. I'm listening for any and everything that's going to give you a position. And I will navigate it all the way down to the distance. If it's super faint, it's maybe 100 yards or more. But if it's kind of close, maybe 10 to 20 meters. All right, so I'll start walking towards that noise. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a very quiet, very disciplined, very controlled scenario you're dealing with. Now, if you're talking about food, okay, what is Weeds gonna do for food?
What is Weeds?
Right, you're not going to Burger King. You're not going to McDonald's. Your food is gonna look like this. This is called an MRE, a meal ready to eat. Okay, it's dehydrated food, and they have some pretty good choices. Like this is vegetarian noodles. Actually, very good. I love it. All right. So what you would do is to cook an MRE. I don't want to waste my MRE, y'all. Sorry, but what you would do, you see this packet right here.
Yeah.
You see these little tabs at the bottom with a little powder on the inside?
Yeah.
That powder is called white phosphorus. Okay? It's activated with water. So what you would do is you would rip that packet open. You would take this package, slide it inside. You would take this package, slide it inside this package, and add water up to the fill line where it says "Do not refill." Don't overfill it. Oh, excuse me. Don't overfill that. Okay. After that, you put it on a rock in about a 90-degree, about a 35-degree angle for about 5 minutes. After that, you got a hot meal.
Yeah.
Now, if you're on the go, you don't have time for a hot meal. Rip this thing open and eat it. Now, I will give you a little advice I got that doctor from Sears School. It should take 3 days to eat one MRE. Eat the main meal first. You moving. Next day, eat some crackers. You got to stay light. Okay. Next day, eat the snack. And then you should finish everything off from there. Okay. Don't sit down and say, I want a big, elegant meal when you running. You don't have time for that. Okay. You don't have time to eat on the move. Your head should be going from 10 to 2, 3, 6, 9, 12 while you're moving. You don't have time to say, well, I want to walk like we do with our phones. We don't have time to do this. Okay. Yeah. We got time to look ahead, keep your head on a swivel, move around, because if a man and his wife, or 2 men or 2 women, if you're walking, you're each other's navigation system. Each one of you is looking out for the enemy.
Yeah.
It's called covering your 6. All right. Now, the tents. Keep a nice tent. Now keep a tent. That's my baby right there. I've had this tent for years. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. The tent is cool if I'm in a bivouac situation, which means I'm gonna be in a situation for a couple of days. It's not that much of a threat. I can actually post up and get some good solid sleep, right? Because if we're in a bug out situation and somebody's coming for us, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be one person sleeping, one person not sleeping for 6 hours. One up, one down, one up, one down. All right. You're gonna be heavily locked and loaded because you're looking for threats. All right. But if you're in a situation where the grid just shuts down, you got to survive. Your house caved in, and this. You got to get your tent, go in the backyard. That's fine. Take your tent, go ahead and pinch it up, set it up. Take your poncho liner, set it on the floor. It's nice and comfortable back there. You can also have a generator, which I have too. You have your generators. Generators are your game winners. The only problem is with a generator in a real combat scenario, worst thing you can have out there. Because it makes noise, and it makes a lot of noise. Okay. But if you're in a classic urban scenario, generator's not gonna hurt nothing because everybody got them, right? So make sure you have to have a generator. Brothers, sisters, if you can go buy Gucci, you can go buy Balenciaga, you can go buy Versace, you can go take your happy ass to the store and buy a generator.
Yep.
Same thing I say about weapons. If you can go buy Gucci, why can't you buy Candy?
Correct.
Same thing. So one's gonna save your life. You wear one, it's gonna fade out over time. That gun is never gonna fade out unless you just don't take care of it. Correct. Right. So we have to switch priorities. Basically. That's pretty much all I have on my end, unless you have questions. Oh, I got some fishing equipment. All right, so because you got to know how to be a hunter gatherer at that point, right?
Oh yeah.
So I make it a point to have a fishing kit.
Okay.
I make it a point. This line right here will save your life too. Has a little hook for it. I catch my fish, I tie it off in the water, let the fish be fresh, so I can go out and cook my fish in the open. I wish this hurricane didn't hit. I would have did this on our training ground. You would have got pretty much the real deal. But I also keep fishing poles. That's if I want to get bougie, right? I don't want to use string. I want to use a fishing pole. But you have to know how to be right. You got to know how to be a hunter gatherer at this point. Black men should be focused on learning real life survival skills, because real life shit hit the fan scenarios are very likely to happen.
Correct.
Very likely. And if we don't watch ourselves, we're gonna be stuck.
Correct.
And you can't, if you're waiting on other organizations to help you and all this other stuff, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're shit free. You're already lost. Nobody's gonna protect you more than your own family. But they have to know what to do. So when I got married to my wife, one of the, I guess it's part of my dowry to make sure she say, well, I don't want to let, first of all, I won't let wind touch my wife. I told her I'll burn fire over you. So at the end of the day, I have to make sure I have everything necessary to help us survive. I'm gonna tell you this: if I didn't know how to survive in the storm that just passed, we'd probably be bad, man.
Yeah, I would love for you. I would love for you to give us some insight on what happened, because I know that you go through you and your gun club, Anubis Gun Club. Y'all been going around helping the community, making sure the elders are safe. They have ate, doing great things that a lot of people aren't organized or even thinking about doing, because we live in a society where everybody's about self. We don't have any more selfless people out there, not on a majority level like that, but people who walk in their purpose are more selfless. But people that's not walking in their purpose and don't give two F's about anybody else is more on a selfish level. They're only worried about themselves unless they need something, and now they come with their hand out like, hey, help a brother out, man. We all together. We should be looking out for each other.
Right. Then it's all the time. Then it's time to say Black Power. Thing of the matter is, everybody's African when when it comes to Black folks. Everybody's African when it's time to suffer, and that don't make sense to me. I'm African all the time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But when it's bad, when it's nigga, every nigga for itself. When everything is good, but when stuff goes bad, you hear more my brothers and my sisters than anything.
Correct.
Wow.
But what you don't understand is I am a true Garveyite. So that some people will call it divisive. Garvey was divisive. He said, I don't want all Black people to go back to Africa with me. There's something that's no good here and they're gonna be no good there. That's divisive. I have the same thought process. I don't want all of them to come, because if you're not African 24/7, all you're gonna do is bring nigga stuff to Africa.
Exactly.
And I don't want you there. Stay a nigga on the plantation. He's going Africa. We's gonna be free. So that's pretty much our thought process. My brother Nate is the guy with the tech stuff. It's pretty much my end on the survival part, unless you have questions for me.
No, I just wanted you, before you hand it over to Nate, I just wanted you to give us like a quick synopsis of what was it like experiencing going through the community and helping them out. What did you see? How grateful were the people for your help and things like that?
Well, I'll say it like this. Sorry about that. I'll say it like this. When the hurricane first hit, the day of, my wife called me crazy sometimes, but I actually drove out in the middle of it. I had to see what was going on. So I got in my truck and I drove out in the middle of it to see how bad it really was. Okay. I saw power pole, electric poles down everywhere, trees down everywhere, wind swaying, but it wasn't like I saw big houses falling and stuff like that. Maybe the worst of it happened at night, but I didn't see it when I was driving. I went to a neighborhood called Greens Point. The nickname is Guns Point. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of that, the nickname. Yeah. So I drove through there because usually whenever it's a bad storm, the most impacted communities are in the cities, the hood.
Correct.
So I went straight to the hood. And it did what I thought it was going to do. It flooded. I did a video saying, oh, it's not really that bad. Then my thing cut off. But when I went down the overpass, I hit a big wall of water. I was like, oh, no, this is bad. Yeah. So I'm looking around to see what apartments are flooded. I didn't see too much of that. I saw a bunch of the community was out there and everything. I'm asking everybody if they needed help. Everybody was very grateful. My team was doing what they had to do for their families. Did I expect Nate to come all the way from Cairo to Houston in the middle of a hurricane? No. Yeah. I expected him to take care, stay on station, stay on standby like he was. Jaden, my brother Nate, everybody else in the Anubis Gun Club was on standby doing things in their community because we couldn't exactly branch out to do what we had to do.
Correct.
So they did what they had to do to take care of them, and that was great.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because, they're no good to me hurt. And I was worried about them. You know what I'm saying? So the very next day, I was passing out water and things of that nature in the neighborhoods. I know quite a few state reps. Shout out to Jarvis Johnson, State Rep Jarvis Johnson, and my brother Ron Reynolds. So we got up with them, got some donations, dropped them off. Again, people were grateful in regards to us giving the community effort. You know, offered help to places like the Shape Center, because the Shape Center was without power for a few days. So it's National Black United Front and everything like that. So the important thing was right after the hurricane, what did I do? I did my rounds, went around everywhere I knew, everywhere in the community, every community I knew, and just made sure that everybody was good. A lot of people were out of power for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I heard.
It was bad, man. We lost a couple of folks too. It got bad out here.
Wow.
What was the strength of the storm when it hit?
Man, they said it was a category 1.
Wow. Really?
I think it was like a 2.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It had the strength of a 2. A category 1 was really just a strong thunderstorm.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
This one was a strong thunderstorm. This stuff was tearing off roofs. Roofs.
Yeah.
It was knocking down big oak trees that had been around for centuries. I mean, it leveled businesses. Nah, this is a 2.
Yeah, that might be a strong 2, almost a light 3.
Yeah, like I'll give it that. It wasn't a Harvey. It definitely wasn't a Harvey. Now Harvey, well, Harvey ran through Houston.
Oh yeah.
Everything was flooded for weeks. So I say it like this: within a couple of days, Houston's water subsided completely. Unless you were like on our training ground on rural land, it's kind of swampy out there. Give a couple of weeks, it'll probably die out. But the rain keeps coming, so that's the bad part, right? The rain keeps coming. When we want the rain, it doesn't come. When we don't want the rain, it's all over the place. So, that's welcome to Houston, Moon Guy. Welcome to Houston.
I have my personal thoughts on that I keep to myself, because then people think I'm crazy. But you know,
I already know what you're thinking.
It's kind of weird.
You're not crazy.
Yeah.
What's weird about it? Go ahead.
No, I just feel like, being that you guys are off the grid, because you guys aren't really on the grid as far as universal power with everybody else. You guys have your own electrical system that has been an issue for years, and that's why you guys pay a hefty tax thing on your electrical bill and stuff like that. From what I heard, it's like you guys are a little bit off the grid when it comes to that. Kind of like you're pretty much, Texas is its own kind of island in the States, kind of the way it's set up, right? And I'm just like, every time you guys getting targeted with all type of, quote unquote natural disasters, and to me, it just feels targeted.
It's by design. That's what we all saying.
Yeah, it's because people don't believe. Like, okay, cloud seeding has been all the way back from 1800s. That's when they were out there throwing stuff up in the air, creating clouds because they needed it to plow their harvest and things like that. We all know from the 1800s to now, we're 2024. They say there's no cloud machines, but there's cloud. We have a HARP system. They admitted to a HARP system. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like these hurricanes and all these disasters are a bit stronger because of the HARP system. I was telling people the HARP system was up there by Alaska. Then they went on because I watch a lot of C-SPAN. So C-SPAN came out and said that they closed down the HARP system up there in Alaska. They shut down the facility. But when I did the research, they moved the HARP system over there into England, into Europe, like in the Europe era, right? So now you start seeing, people were saying, oh, well, the hurricanes come in a pattern of the slave ships. But then the slave ships ain't go all the way up to Ireland. Now you got the hurricanes now going up towards the England coast. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just weird. So you put 2 to 2 together, but the mass majority don't do the research. They don't understand things like that. So when you say it, they like, oh, you're conspiracy theorists, you're wacko, you're out of your head. So sometimes, you just speak to the people that know it. It's kind of like when you have your like, I'm from Jamaica descent. Like, my parents are from Jamaica. So when I'm around you guys, I speak English. But when I get around Jamaicans, I'm speaking Patois because they understand what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same language when you have educated brothers that know what's going on. When we get around each other, we politics and we talk about that stuff. But when we get around other people, It's like we speak the universal language. So
Well, brother, again, you got to refer back to Marcus Messiah Garvey, man. Everybody's not meant to be saved in this thing.
Correct.
All right. Everybody's not meant to be saved. I know exactly what you were saying. I know exactly what you were going to say before you said it. Me and Mila said the same thing. And I said, any interest in that every time a storm hits, the inner city is destroyed, but the rich neighborhoods stay have power. Every time. So if anything, it's a test. So why is this particular show, why is it important? Well, black people, they're showing you their plans. You keep talking about Project 2025 and watching all these videos and stuff, which some of Project 2025 I'm okay with. I'm going to tell you why. The educational piece, I want them to get rid of public schools because that takes away the school to prison pipeline. And it puts more responsibility into our parents to make them be actual parents. Now you have the right to educate your doggone children in the way they need to be educated properly. So you don't have to worry about somebody touching your child at school.
Correct.
That's just one part of it. But so far as the defense part, black people are 400 years behind the power curve on guns.
Correct. Correct.
We can shoot now. I ain't talking about owning one because a lot of us own them. But a lot of us will shoot anything but what's in front of us.
Correct.
But yeah, when you have formal training, these same people that grew up in the hood will sit up there and tell you, I'm scared of guns. How? You grew up around drive-bys your whole life. How? You dated dudes that had guns and you knew they had guns. You love thugs. How? You're scared of the responsibility that it takes to have a weapon and properly fire that weapon. That's what you're afraid of. You're afraid of going outside and sweating and being properly trained. Excuse me. That's what you're afraid of.
Correct.
You're afraid of somebody telling you you're wrong.
Correct. And that's the psychological part of it, because when we did the show, remember I had yourself on and I had my other friend on that were trainers, and then he had his wife, but his wife couldn't come on because she was sick. But I had all you guys on to talk about the training of weapons. And I ran into a couple of women that were interested about the show, but they said they were scared of guns. And I said, okay, let me direct you to a female instructor. And then they got with the female instructor, and now they're pretty good with guns. Some of them are actually operating their guns just on the same level or even better than I am. So a lot of times it's the initial fear that we have, but once you get with the right people, the right instruction, representation matters a lot, and that it becomes normal to you and more safe to you, and you understand how to operate it, and now you ready to be ready. You know what I'm saying? And they couldn't thank me enough for you brothers to be on the show, to give them that initial push, and for me to head them in the direction they need to get into to be where they're at now, where they can defend their families, because a lot of them are single women. And it's very important. And I tell people all the time, you know, if you're a single woman, especially, you need weapons training. You need to know how to defend yourself and your family. I don't care if it's not a gun. There's other things to help defend your family with besides a gun, you know, that you can feel comfortable with. But at least everything that you use as a weapon, you still need training for. You still need training to have a mace. You can't spray the whole mace, because you spray mace in certain areas and you end up doing yourself more harm than your enemy. So there's always training behind things like that. So yeah, like once again,
it's just like working out, brother. Everybody don't want to do it just because it takes work.
Correct. Exactly.
That's all there is to it. The key word of workout is work.
Correct. But when they do it and they see the results, then they're excited about doing the work. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. You know, when you're scared, you're nervous to pick up a gun, and then all of a sudden you out here like Clint Eastwood, you know, you're excited now. But the initial step to take to get there, you are scared about, you know. So sometimes, you know, it's great to have community leaders and people to give you that extra push in that direction, that support. Everybody needs support. So yeah, again, thank you.
I'll even salute. Oh, my pleasure. I'll salute my wife on that. My wife, when we first got together and everything, she wasn't that savvy on guns. Now, between me and my good brother Nate right there, oh yeah, she's shooting 12 gauges now.
A lot of the problems.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Okay.
Not just women that you know are afraid of guns. We got a lot of dudes out here. I'm focused on the black community. I don't care about these other communities. Only the reason I care about the only community is to see what they're doing, obviously, to pay attention. But a lot of us as men are not paying attention. We're not
Correct.
listening. We're not,
Correct.
trying to get instruction. We're not trying to get better in this security space. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Physical fitness too. You know what I mean? We got to be on. I'm 50. I don't look 50, so
Yeah.
I'm in.
Whoa.
I'm about to be 50.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
you
know-
look.
Wait, no,
Bro, you look like you're in your late
Time out.
20s.
Time out.
Yeah, you got the J. Cole syndrome.
Much respect, brother. Much respect.
Wow. Yeah,
But I don't know about the rest. But what I'm not about to let you do is to just casually slide. Yeah, we out here training. And I just turned 50. You're not about to slide that in there off the cuff.
Yeah.
You're how old?
50.
Yes.
I'm about to be 50.
Man.
I'm 49.
Nice.
Brother, I was gonna put 30. I actually had in my head 31 and 32 for you.
Yeah. I had
That's
32.
just the way you talk.
Drinking water, and not smoking cigarettes. And all this BS. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In
It's
moderation.
very important.
Drink.
That's
Yeah.
what clean living and hard work do for you. Right? That's clean
Grow
living,
your life as a
good
man.
eating,
Right.
and hard work. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
That's
Yes,
official.
definitely.
Mm.
I'm glad you said that. No smoking. I don't smoke. I hope all the brothers, man, like, we got to a point where we did a lot of partying, especially in the 80s and 90s, man. We got to kick all that stuff out there and start, cleansing our bodies, because it's our women and children that's suffering and our elders. We got to be the men out there to protect them, because they're going to be the ones targeted if any kind of so-called civil war or anything like that pop off. They're the first ones that's going to get targeted. They need the most protection. So we have to be in the best condition, because I've seen a lot of guys, that look fit, but they smoke so much, and by the time something kick off, they run about 2 yards and then they passing out because
It's
their lungs.
one thing, like, you need to, like, this is my body armor. Like, the moon has one too, right? It's rigged. So you need to be able to have body armor, but actually, are you physically putting it on and seeing how things go, and can you run,
Yes.
can you shoot with it? Like, stop playing toy soldier. And you don't have to
Exactly.
be a soldier. Like, AMUN is a soldier, but not all of us are soldiers. But we need to be
Correct.
soldiers for the
Correct.
community. That doesn't mean we're soldiers for the U.S. government or whatever, right? So to me, we need to be practicing. You don't have to be in the military to be thinking tactics. To be thinking.
Correct.
Like, I'm in IT as well, and like you said at the beginning, I'm an IT engineer by trade. With 25 years experience in that space, but I also am paying attention to his gun stuff, the survival stuff, and what we're doing in the black community. Now, if everybody doesn't want to get on board, like AMUN said, that's their problem. We're going to go get with those who are going to be teachable, powerful, and if you're a dude and you don't want to listen, hey, there's 10 sisters that will listen, and you're going to be dead if you're not listening.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
AMUN's got tactical experience, and from a military perspective, he got some stuff that we don't know. How to fire a mortar. I don't know how to do all that. But when it gets to that point of doing that, I'm going to listen to what he says. Like, press this button, do this, or whatever it is. So are we willing to be taught, though, is the main thing that we're struggling with, it seems like. And we have a lot of men, a lot of us men are not stepping up. We're just kind of like sitting back. We're talking about all this other bullshit. It's okay to talk about relationships. That's important, but that needs to be 5% of our focus. Like, we need to be outputting. Like, what are we doing? Like, to be prepared. Do we have basic stuff, like you're saying? Do we have ammo? Do you have a real gun? Like, the budget for your gun should be, $500 to $600 for a pistol. Budget for your AR, you can get an AR for like, maybe $900 to $1,300. And it takes you 5 paychecks. Wait 5 paychecks and get the gun. Like, don't get poor quality because you're trying to save. Like, there's no such thing as a budget. You don't want to do that. I don't want to show my guns on camera because I don't know if it's YouTube or whatever. But you want to have weapons that are reliable. Like, you have a car, but how reliable is your car? Like, you just gonna buy a Ford Fiesta and think you're gonna go through the woods with a Ford Fiesta? No. Like, so you want to have a weapon. Your guns need to work in the rain. Like, can you shoot? Have you physically shot your weapons in the rain, not just in the gun range? Have you physically gone in the woods and physically killed an animal? Like, how do we hunt? How do we do these things? You know what I mean? That's an art that we got to get back to, man. We should have a black boys and girl club, but we screening everybody. Everybody get background check. We're not letting nobody slide. A black sort of like from a youth age, we should be doing this training and all this. Like what my Greg did and my daughter, I teach them like physically how to hold a weapon, the 5 rules of gun safety. I'm not just saying these things, I'm physically making them do these things. So what are we doing? If we don't have all the skills as a person, just start getting familiar, guys. Stop playing. Take baby steps. You don't have to become. You're not going to be an expert in 5 years. Like I've been doing firearms training for some years, and I didn't really get more proficient. I actually do competition shooting as well. So in addition to what he's talking about, so competition shooting is doing stuff at speed, but with accuracy, but also to build muscle memory. So if are you able to draw your gun from your stomach in less than 2 seconds and get off the shot? Like that's still slow, but can you do it in like a grandmaster level would be like a 1 second draw. Like draw your gun, bang, and shoot accurately. Like if 2 people are standing here, bad guy, good person, I'm not shooting the wrong person like the pigs do, the police do to us. They don't care about accuracy or none of that. But the point is being proficient, being reliable. So if me and AMUN are working together on a security detail, something pops off, I know I can count on him to draw his gun. He's not going to shoot himself like Cheddar Bob. You know what I mean? He's gonna be able to just be competent and like Tommy said in the movie Belly, learn how to put the stuff in the bag, then get money. Like stop trying to make things complicated, and you hadn't done basic stuff first. Like start with basic stuff. I teach basic to advanced. AMUN can teach rifle and all this sort of stuff too. Physically fighting, pressure points, all these kind of things. Like we should just kind of level up with this. And if everybody can't get on board, that's fine. We're just gonna rock with those who listen.
Correct. I want to show some videos real quick about what you just talked about that you guys have been doing. So just for everybody to know what Instructor Nate was talking about, here goes the video right here.
Gun, 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 gun! Good shot, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Good job, Ethan. Alright? That's how you do it. Chamber the round right here. Now it's hot. Lean forward, finger off the trigger. Lean forward. Good job. Good job. Good. There you go. Oh my God. I don't ever want to do this. Take your finger off.
Do my wife like
Hit. 55-yard pistol, y'all. Nice, good pistol grip. Hit. Hit. Hit.
All right, and this last video right quick.
All right, shooter understands course of fire. Engage all targets. Do not run past the steel. You can shoot back here if you want, but you just can't run past the steel. That's your call. All right. Shooter, are you ready? Stand by.
All right, so that's the video as well. I just wanted to show you guys a visual of what they were talking about, and you guys can elaborate more on that.
Yeah, so these are just some of our gun club range days that we have. We just go through various drills. That first one you saw was a VIP, so like VIP protection, like you're personally licensed in Texas or wherever state you're in to personally protect somebody at a VIP level. Can you physically do those things? Like move somebody out of there, engage in fire, make a decision. Am I actually drawing my gun or not? You know what I mean? Like in a split second. You're not just drawing your gun just because you got it. We're not moving like the police. We're not fucking trying to be like the police, excuse my French. But we're trying to just protect people and protect the community and do it in a proficient way. The other drills were some of the youth. We try to train the youth. We're not try. We are the women. One of those guys that was a new shooter. That was his first time holding a gun. So
Nice.
it doesn't have to be like some people are scared of gun. We can start with airsoft, go to 22, then go to 9. So this is a psychological thing. A lot of times in people's heads, they either gone through something traumatic, or the community and the black community specifically, and we have demonized guns and self defense. I tried to go to Third Ward, and there's a projects in Houston called CUNY Homes in Third Ward, Houston. I tried to go there as an instructor. I'm certified, licensed, insured, all that. I'm not just some dude on the street just saying come do my training. So I'm actually certified and competent in what I'm doing. And I tried to go to CUNY Homes to kind of just go over some fundamentals of safety. Not even use a real gun. We could use airsoft. And the housing authority denied me because they said that the Houston Police Department is training the youth, which is BS. The police departments do not teach kids how to properly operate a weapon. They want to take your gun.
I will believe that when I see with my own. I'll believe when I'm sitting there in the class with them.
Yeah, these people don't even know they don't even know the 5 rules, 4 rules of gun safety. Like, so this is the stuff I'm talking about. So we just need to be more competent, and that's my mission. And also one of the other missions I have too, along with working with Anubis and being part of Anubis, is being one of the only few melanated grandmaster shooters. So there's very few people that look like us that are worldwide, that are the best in the world. So we're trying to institute some real black excellence and then spread that. Not just me, like you guys are capable of doing this. So like y'all trying to realize this. Whatever city you're in, it's possible for you to not just go to the gun range, but you can go to competition matches, which will help you do an ego check. So you need to do tactical training 100% of the time, but you can do competition training to stay sharper and to visually see yourself on video on what am I doing good and bad, and to make those corrections. So then when you get in a real gunfight, just like boxing or sparring, I'm sparring to get the reps of if I get in a real fight. So if a person is a black belt and they spar with somebody, they're gonna hurt somebody on the street. Or if they're in the military and they've been just cutting people's throats and doing all this, they're used to violence. So these are not people you just want to be competent enough where you can match somebody's violence if they're coming at you with violence when it makes sense. And not having, I don't care what bad you got, like all this stuff that's going on with the police, like it's really out of control. It's really a problem that we as black men, we got to start somehow, without question, policing our own community and just not asking questions, just doing it. And if that means we get in confrontations, then so be it. If there's a million black dudes out here of us armed and competent, they're not going to shoot us. Like, so we just have a scary mindset of not wanting to get out here because we're worried about, like, I got a 6K career, you know what I mean? I could be worried about my job, but I'm like, F that job, because we won't have no job if we're all dead. So I'm trying to look out for ourselves first and foremost, like he's talking about with Garvey and Malcolm and all these people that came before us. Like, we don't have the time to be concerned ourselves with this presidential puppet show and all this BS that you can argue whether what is real, what is not. And when bullets starts flying, nigga, are you gonna be ready? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, just at a basic level, can you do basic stuff, and can you listen and take instruction from other men that's trying to tell you to save your life?
Correct. Well said. Well said. And that's one thing I want to do when I get up to Tampa is to try to open up something up there. If you guys branch, help me to branch another branch for you guys over there in Tampa, and I'll be down to do that, because that's something I think you got to have key points everywhere you go. You know, the fellas could probably do one down here if you guys don't have one down here. And any of our viewers, if you're in an area and you feel like, you want to do that in your area, feel free to reach out to Instructor Nate or to AMUN, and they will help assist you on what you need to do to set up and train you, So it's like people, I think what happens psychologically as Black folks, we're always looking for a Malcolm. We're always looking for a Garvey Martin Luther King. We're looking for a set leader, and in reality of it, everybody should be a Malcolm. Everybody should be a Garvey.
We're not really looking for Malcolm or Garvey. Black people as a whole, if you're looking at the facts and self accountability is pouring in, even in the conscious community, they still looking for Jesus.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're looking for Sky Daddy. They're looking for Sky Daddy that came through this sacred rite of passage came through this royal bloodline to all of a sudden materialize with gold in their veins, saying, "I'm here to save you." When all you have to do, the reason why I was a preacher once upon a time, y'all, I was a youth pastor. And I said to a preacher, I said, the one major thing that made me walk away from the church is, why do I have to sit there and wait for somebody to come save me when I got all the skills on earth to save myself?
Correct.
And other. And we've done it.
There's a lot of that going on. So in the African spirituality, like I'm in African spirituality and Kemetic science and all that, and that's great. And I got my crystals. But my crystal is not going to stop an AK-47 bullet. Like, so I need to know how to have a body armor and how to wear a mask and how to shoot. In addition to my crystals to protect me in the spiritual realm or whatever protections I need, I'm still going to have this weapon, regardless. Like, we got to get off of this BS that, you know what I mean? The ancestors had swords, people. Let's stop playing. Ancestors had swords. They fought. They had rituals. They did all these sort of things. It was levels to this stuff. They didn't just walk around with some kumbaya. And those who did got demolished by the colonizers. So we need to stop that too. Stop this being passive and start exercising our masculinity in the right way. You know what I mean?
Well, I tell everybody all the time, you have a choice of two things in this realm. You can be a victor or you can be a victim. And a lot of us are victims. Okay, let's look at our community, for example. They'll always say they ain't scared of no what. They ain't scared of no what in the hood.
They ain't scared of no Negroes.
We ain't scared of no niggas. They ain't scared of Negroes. We ain't scared of no niggas.
Yeah.
But that cop is something about a troglodyte that walks around in the neighborhood that will make these people have heart attacks. You see what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is, I mean, even in certain circumstances in the so-called what you want to say movement, they'll go hard on their paint on each other. But when it's time for that white man, Zimmerman does something, we need to march. You ain't marching about that black man that's on the corner selling drugs. You ain't marching about that prostitute that's walking down the street. You ain't marching about them drug addicts. You ain't marching about this black man that beat up this black boy at home and he's scared to go to school and fight because if he does, he's going to get beaten some more when he gets home. He's an abused child. We're not marching about these little girls who are getting sexually abused at home. We're not marching about this. We ain't marching about the woman that's getting beaten at home. But we marching about all the stuff that's on the news and very popular. See, that's what I don't understand. What's the very first step for a person to take when trying to prepare for survival outside of the home? The very first step, that's my wife, that's my baby.
Queen Miller said that. What's the very first step for a person to take when trying to prepare for survival outside of the home?
The very first step is to mentally prepare yourself by saying, I will survive. That is a very important thing to say. Well, I went to SEER school when I was in the Marine Corps, Survival, Evasion, Reconnaissance Exercise School. It was a very demanding course. I literally lost 30 pounds because you weren't given no creature comforts. Okay, your job was to escape captives. Okay. One thing we told ourselves is that we're going to make it out of here no matter what happens. No matter what happens. If I get caught, I'm going to make it through. If I get punched in the face, which we did, I'm going to make it through. If I got to stand in a half barrel of water, I'm going to make it through. If it's too hot, I'm going to make it through. And when you set yourself that precedence in your mind that you're going to make it through that scenario, now you start studying on how to make it through the scenario. I'm going to make it through. How am I going to make it through? Let's do the research on it. Do this before the storms come, folks. Research this stuff before the storm comes. Get your gear before the storm comes. When you see clouds in the sky, don't go to Academy then. It's too late. Have your stuff a year in advance. Like when the storm hit us, All right, all our food in our refrigerator was gone, but I mean, the most I had to do was go get some soup.
Yeah.
Done. And the worst case scenario, I got fishing lines and I got bait. And don't think I can't dig a hole and get some worms. And don't think I won't be at somebody's lake trying to catch some fish. It's not hard. But you have
Yeah.
to put it in your mind that you will, not you hope, you will survive this scenario.
Correct.
If somebody kicks in your door, that's a survival scenario. What's the first thing you say? I will make it through this scenario.
Correct.
Because at that point, it's you or him.
Correct.
I'd rather be him.
Exactly.
Right.
So how are you going to make it through if you're not training yourselves? See, the training that Anubis does preps you for the worst case scenario. All the time. We always train for the worst case scenario. I know I get on their nerves because I'm hard on them, but I'm hard on them because of the fact that we train for the worst case scenario. Because as we look at 2025, the worst case scenario is very likely to happen. We got two possibilities. You got a civil war pending, or you got literally a foreign invasion pending. If you don't know, for those watching, China is in Cuba, which is 300 miles away from Florida.
Facts. Right now, as y'all cheat, while y'all
Right
cheese,
now.
while you cheese,
Right now. Russia is circling outside of California right now in subs. While we up there cheesing like everything's all cush. And it takes one, and if you look at the border crisis, I started prepping when I started looking at the border crisis. When just Latinos coming across, this is their land, right? I wouldn't trip. Tejas, Califas, I wouldn't trip, right? This is their land. But when I started seeing people from Yemen, Djibouti, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Afghanistan, China, Venezuela, Nicaragua, when I see these guerrilla states coming through and everybody letting them through, I'm thinking about stuff like suitcase nuke. I'm thinking about stuff like sleeper cells. I got a couple of other things on order for my family, like gas masks, NBC gear. Because what you don't realize is if a suitcase nuke goes off, if you see the blast, you're done.
Yeah.
Too late.
These are the masks you should have. A real mask, not a knockoff fucking mask.
Right.
Yeah.
A real mirror safe. I'll put the link in here. Mirror safe. Mirror safe.
Right.
$260.
Charcoal filter mask.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you need to have a couple of filters.
Yeah.
Please send that link. That's definitely great information. I've been telling people about that mask from the first
Put it in
time.
the chat. I'll put it in the chat right here.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that beforehand.
Yeah.
And you need to learn how to shoot with your mask on.
Fact. This
Correct.
mask has a shooting angle, which allows you to shoot. So not every mask is gonna have that angle where you can get a sight picture, get your rifle up where you can see it in your eye. You're not just point shooting. You're physically looking. Because if you have to shoot with a rifle at 50 yards from the knee or from your stomach, have you physically done that? First of all,
right?
And not just having the equipment, but going out in the Texas heat in 110 and doing it. Because there ain't gonna be no time out. We want to have a war now when it's perfect circumstance, but that's not how it works. Like,
So a lot of us think this is Call of Duty. A lot of us think this is Call of Duty, right? Please be advised, Stanley, when you're looking at this scenario right here. When you die, that's it.
Correct.
You only get one life. That's it. You don't get a regeneration. You don't have somebody going, hey man, let me borrow your IFAC or give me a life.
right.
No,
Let me borrow
none of that.
your
You're
IFAC. The IFAC means individual first
That's
aid
infantry first aid kit.
Yeah.
Individual first aid kit. IFAC.
Yeah,
All right,
IFAC. We call it infantry first aid kit.
Infantry. Okay, there you go.
Before we get to the next question, the link is in the chat, everybody. So Instructor Nate gave us the link, and you have it there. Click on the link and go to the website. And I just clicked on the link and went to the website, so it's a working link. So you guys can go up there and get the mask. Preparation is key. I tell people all the time, one of the things that the Black community suffer from is that we are post-active and not pre-active. And the reason why post-active is tearing our asses up is because it's hard for you to recover after the fact something has happened, opposed to you knowing what might happen and prepare, so when it happens, you know how to avoid and navigate through it. So make sure that you guys are being prepared. That's how you be pre-active and not post-active. Because if something pop off, Now everybody looking for masks, and guess what? It's sold out in 3 minutes, and you and your family are asked out. That's one of the reasons why it's so powerful to get around people that do research, because when the COVID went off, before COVID hit, I was telling people to get masks. I was telling people to get water. I was telling people to get disinfectant and things like that. I had over 50 families tag me and said, thank you, Aunt, because if you didn't tell me this, I would have been out in the chaos fighting with them people and probably being on the news, brawling with them people over the necessary items that you needed to survive the first wave of COVID. So it's very important to get around people that's going to tell you what is happening before it happens, so you can be ahead of the game, and it saves you and your family as so many times as you've seen before. So I just wanted to say that. You wanted to say something on that?
I just want to add one thing.
Yes, go ahead.
Make sure you get the iodine.
Breaking up, brother.
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on. The iodine tablets from the same site, so don't take them unless it's an actual nuclear fallout. But these are the iodine tablets. So if you get nuclear, what's that different gas to get in your system? This will stop it from killing you.
Oh.
When the fallout happens.
So it's an ionized capsule?
Iodine.
Iodine capsule. Got you.
It's for gas masks. In that same website, they sell these for like $20.
Okay. Nice.
And something else real quick before we jump on to the next section, with all the stuff that's being talked about, that all the survival gear that you've been talking about, Amun, all the technical stuff you've been talking about, Nate, it should go without saying, but just in case, because we try to be thorough, leave no stone untouched, it is very important that you understand that all these items, whether it's your weapon, whether it's your bug out kit, whether it's your first aid kit, all of these tools are meant for you to be acquired for the purpose of saving your life, preserving and maintaining your life, and that of your family. Yeah. With that being said, it's great to go out and have the mindset, I need to survive. I need to go ahead and take these necessary steps. It's even better to go out and get the items that you need for that purpose. But like anything else, you need to practice with your tools. You know, don't go ahead and get you in this you don't get a nice state-of-the-art packable tent that you can put in your kit. Yeah. And now shit hits the fan. And you out there in the woods trying to pull up your phone. Let me go to YouTube. How do I put this together?
No YouTube, sir. There's no YouTube.
You ain't got time for that, buddy.
And even if it's not your phone, don't go out and try to pull out the instruction manual, try to read, okay, insert leg A in the socket B. Nah.
You should be familiar with this, like putting gas in your car.
Yes, everything. And not just how to use these different things, but how to use them in different circumstances. So like you mentioned with the gas mask. So your particular mask has a setup where you can actually use it while you're using a firearm. That's excellent. Most people wouldn't have thought about that. It's good to get that, but you need to be out there on the range or out there in the open practicing getting a sight picture with your firearm with the mask on. You need to figure out how certain things work, because there's certain things. Because there's certain things that's going to pop up, right? Because there's also certain things when you train, and no gotta tell you this, Amun, but there's certain things that you're only going to learn or understand in action. So you might be seeing this, but there's a certain problem. What happens if, I got this gas mask, but I'm realizing I'm out here, it's hot, it's fogging up. How do I deal with this? Mm-hmm. What do I do to kind of minimize this? Is there anything I can do where I can cut down these? Right.
It's anti-fog, by the way, but yes, that's a good.
Anti-fog.
You won't know that until you test your equipment, though. To your point.
Right.
And that's part of why you put it through training, so you practice with your different things. You know, these items, they're made by human beings, so it might be great, but you might got yourself a bad batch.
Right.
You get your MRE kit, take one out periodically, test it to make sure it's not bad.
Yep, eat it.
Again, you don't want to be out in the. I mean, it's survival, so it's not going to be pretty. But at the same time, you don't want to be out here in the field. You ain't had these MREs before. You taste it for the first time. It's so now you got to keep your head on a swivel and try to figure out how to not throw up the food that you're eating. When there's other meals you're going to try, okay, I like this food better. We can live off this. I can't live off of this. So these are things you got to condition yourself for. Test out your gear. Try your stuff out. See if it works for you. One size doesn't fit all. One person's bug out kit probably isn't like another person's bug out kit. Yeah. So find out what is best for you in your situation, what works in your environment.
Right.
If you all live in Wyoming, you're not gonna need the same gear like you would down if you're in Miami.
Right.
Correct.
It's probably gonna be cold as hell up there. You're gonna need more cold weather based gear
Right.
up in Wyoming, whatever. You're down in Miami, you ain't gonna need no big old flannel coats and stuff like that. So again, you gotta think and you gotta strategize and you gotta reach out to people who are more advanced in this, who have more thinking like this, so you can get some ideas, because some things, you just don't know without the experience. So if you can lean on people around you that have that kind of game already, that's gonna definitely up your chances of survival.
Right.
Correct. Well said.
Also,
I just want to go into your queen. Your queen asked a question. I want to make sure this question, another great question she asked. What are 3 items everyone needs for basic survival? And also, would you all share 1 or 2 things in every home that many might not even know would assist in survival? So I will say this. In my household, I made sure that I got EMF protective covering for the laptop. I have one for the laptop. I also have one for a wallet. That's something that I think people should do now, because with the scamming on, they're going to scamming on another level. So you want that type of protection, because people are now, you have your credit cards in your pocket and they can scan your credit cards without you even knowing. So go on the website, EMF protection for cell phones, laptops, and your wallet, just to protect your information and your digital currency. So that's one thing I just wanted to say, and then I'll turn it over to you guys.
Okay, go ahead, Nate.
Oh no, that's good. Y'all are on track. 100%.
All right,
One thing too, I'll just add, in addition to your gun, like you should have a holster for your gun. So you should not be just putting your gun in the back pocket. You should not just be putting your gun in your belt loop in your back pocket. You should not just be putting your gun in your glove box. You should not be putting your gun in your cup holder. You should not be putting your gun in your purse, ladies. It should physically be on your body. So your gun should be in a holster. The reason for the holster is to protect it from inadvertently pulling the trigger guard. If you have these cloth holsters, those are apt to be unsafe. Other thing too is make sure you invest in a battle belt, where you got like a tactical belt with your knife, and this is stuff you can get later, so that when you do need to go out and you have the IFAC, you have your first aid kit with some chem lights if you want, light. I use this so I can see if it's dark. But these kind of belts you can get for less than $500, minus the AR magazines and knife or whatever other stuff you have. But you should have some sort of battle set up. Like, sure, we're not in the military, but it would be smart if 1,000 brothers had gear and somebody wanted to smoke. They're not going to be so quick to run up on you if 1,000 dudes is kitted up.
Yeah.
And know
if
how to
only
use
4, I've shown it on a video. If you have 4 people that know the law and you know your weapons, they're not gonna bother you. You played the video. It was right there. You got engaged with the cops out there in Emancipation Park, and we knew the law, and all they did was talk. We still stayed there.
Correct. So let me play that video for people, because I like to give the visual of what Armand was talking about. So let me play that video.
Hey, I appreciate y'all providing. I mean, y'all know the law. If you're open carrying with your sidearms, you have to have a license to carry. So y'all appear to be law-abiding, concealed carry permit holders. So we're running all information to verify it, because we get a lot of fakes sometimes. So we just want to run through our system, make sure it's a legit, license to carry.
Okay.
If not, I mean, y'all aren't breaking any laws, but you know what I mean? I know y'all are doing it right, but it concerns people driving by like, man, we got 2 guys out here with machine guns. They don't know what these are. These aren't machine guns.
No.
This isn't a machine gun.
No, it's a semi-automatic
gun
rifle.
People know that, right? But civilians driving by, they don't know. They're like, we got 2 guys on the corner with machine guns.
Well, you never carry a firearm unless, one, you're either licensed or qualified to use it, is properly trained to use it. So I wouldn't be walking around here with all this on me if I didn't know what I was doing with it. It's pretty simple.
Who y'all with? Y'all with a company or something? I see y'all both have the same shirt.
Yeah.
He asked too many questions.
All right, so that was the basic. That was the basic information. But I love the fact that I love the fact that Amon challenged them and said, you know, what do you need my license for? But he still gave it to him because you have to know the laws for different cities. And I always talk about that with the youth because people love to run with YouTube videos and they say, oh, I ain't got to show you my license. But that young white boy you seen talking to the cop, he stay in Wyoming, he stay in Montana. Like those places, they could do that. But when you look at the region where most of the urban areas, they require you to show your license. But that doesn't mean that you have.
Yeah, because we're not cross training as mentors the black community youth.
Correct.
That's another thing we need to be doing very hard. We need instructors and other black men that are self-defense, martial arts, all that stuff, but to show them what the actual law. I've done patrols by myself too, and like Moon was saying in that video, sure, I'm going to give you the license. Here you go. But they don't even know. The police don't even know what the law is. So it's no sense in arguing with them unless they draw on you and proceed to try to fire. Then do what you got to do to survive. Don't be stupid. But you know what I mean. You can within the law. You can operate within the law and not be on on some Sambo shit. So just know that you just got to be paying attention to whatever state you live in. And properly trained. You're not just running out there just to be running out there. You're doing it for a 2A walk, armed protest, security, or something like that. So I've done that before myself, and the guy was like, "Isn't it illegal to have a suppressor on an AR-15?" This cop didn't even know what he was talking about. It was a black cop that was just on some bootleg and stuff. And I said, "What are you talking about? Like, if you file your paperwork with the ATF, you can own a suppressor, sir. You don't know the law. You don't know what you're talking about." And I went on video. I was like, "Officers started to not understand the law." He got mad. But like, so
most of them don't. They have no idea what's in those books. I've seen on several occasions where regular citizens have had to educate some of these cops on the law. Their job is to go out and basically respond to calls. If you see something, do something. If somebody calls in something, you respond. They're not lawyers. They do not spend any time in the books. They got no clue.
Yeah, like in Texas. So I'm in Texas. So it's constitutional carry. So as long as you have a holstered gun, this is what they don't tell you. In the penal code, it says holstered gun. That's where they get you on. So a lot of our youth, they can if they can't carry a pistol if they're 18, they gotta be 21. But if they have a rifle and they have a sling, they literally could be 20 feet walking down the street as long as they're not on private property. And you see what I mean? So understanding the law and not walking in fear, but having the right gear on. So why would I go out there with a gun and not have body armor? So if he shoots me, I'm gonna have level 4 body armor and I'm gonna return fire on you, sir. Like you're shooting me and I got it on camera. So I'm not worried to that level because I'm not just doing stuff willy-nilly. I'm not, you know what I mean? Stand on the sidewalk or wherever you're at. But the point is understanding the law and the penal code and it's pretty much universal. A lot of these cops, they don't understand what the law is and they're not lawyers. Stop trying to argue with them and just
Yeah, and it's very important for you guys to understand the law because let me tell you something. A lot of times y'all don't see on camera, but I know personally 2 people that have sued law enforcement and have won the settlement of it because they're in violation of your rights. And if you don't know it, you're going to automatically assume because they have a badge on that they know more than you. And that's far from the case. So if you know more than what they know, man, you're a walking legend. You know what I'm saying? You're superior. You know what I'm saying? And you're not running around here talking this nonsense and gabbing with the mouth because what happens is, and I teach this with the young children, is that the young adults, I tell them all the time, a lot of these cops will bait you into your emotions. So make sure that you control your emotions because what they'll do is you are right. They know that. So what they do is they hype up and bully you into your emotions. And now when you flip with your emotions, you're automatically in the wrong. Don't care what you do. Because once you flip your emotion, now you're threatened. You feel threatened as an officer.
That's what they're waiting on. That's what they're counting. But if you were on some Malcolm X stuff and 1,000 brothers put up and didn't say one word, just had a rifle standing there, there is nothing. What are they going to do?
Correct.
Having discipline, man, like that's a big deal. Having discipline, emotion.
Correct.
Well, the thing to realize about the police, here's the thing, and the fact of the matter is, you're dealing with predators, all right? And you ever heard the story? If you look a wolf in the eyes, it'll turn away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Reason being is because these people are predators. If you show them you're a predator, see, they're predators. We train to be apex predators.
Correct.
There you go.
So you can be a predator, while you're a bigger predator than I am.
Correct.
We're gonna find out. And a knowledgeable predator at that. A knowledgeable predator. I know my environment. And that ties into survival. You know your environment. See, one thing, because the question was, what are 3 things to have? One is knowledge of your surroundings. That's one. How many ins and outs do you have in your neighborhood?
Right
how
now.
Many entry and exits can you tell me you have in your neighborhood right now?
Correct.
What rally points do you have where you can meet? Where can you get water? Right now.
Right. Right. What major freeway are you by? What are the side streets? Does the side street open up into a main street?
Correct.
Does it do your side streets open up to a alleyway where you can duck off? If you have woods by your house, does a house lead to do the woods lead to a ravine? A lot of black folks these days have these little toys called drones. Why don't you use them? Fly over and get some intel over your surroundings.
Fact. Don't just be
I
out
live
there
down the
playing.
street from an Army Reserve base, right?
These white folks are watching you with their drones, bro. They're not flying a drone for no reason. They are nosy.
We get footage of women clapping their ass cheeks. That's what we use the drones for.
Man. Question and comment real quick. Listen, salute to you, Amun, for the way that you handled that. What Anthony was saying, I just want to recap that, like to point out to everybody. Notice how calm and collected this brother was when he was speaking to this dude. He wasn't all rah. I know my rights, bro. That'll get you killed. You know what I'm saying? You get calm and you get into your thinking mode. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point you're strategizing. You know, some of the people I listen to, Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black, they're always talking about how when you get stopped by a cop or something of that nature, think of it as being captured behind enemy lines. Think of it that way.
Prisoner of war.
And you know, you want to make it home safe type of business. Go ahead. You want to say something, Mo?
Well, the other thing is that, I'm sorry, brother, but the other thing is that the enemy doesn't take us serious because we're doing this. I know my rights. I know my rights. Why are you doing this? And then you showing the camera. See what they doing? My hands were clasped. I looked him in his eye. And I calmly said, well, this. And that was a message in itself. That message was, all right, you got an AR, I got an AR. Right. Here's the question. We're going to find out who the best trained is if you draw. Because what I was watching in that video, what they didn't show everything I was doing. What I was watching was his posture. Because I noticed he came out with an AR. I noticed his partner, the little female, she came out in more of an aggressive posture. He came out with the AR, but he was calm, but he was kind of like in an Overwatch poise. And what y'all didn't know is I had 2 brothers with me, and they were watching them.
Watching them watch the watch.
And I was watching them. Right. So I'm talking to him. I see what you got. I'm watching your posture. My mind is on reaction time.
I'm on you chopping up a little bit, brother.
Chopping up real bad. Can you repeat that?
You do.
You're still chopping.
Do you hear me now?
Sound clear. We want to get all that good juice out the
What about now?
brother. No short changes.
Now it's good. Now it's good.
You're good.
All right, cool. What I was watching was posture.
Yes.
All right. That's what I'm watching the whole entire time. Anytime when we do a mission, anytime when we out and about, Nate sees me. When we did guard for Dr. Umar, I was in the back, right behind Dr. Umar, but I was watching posture. We had a little scenario in there, and I was watching posture the entire time. I'm watching movements and posture. I don't need the worst kind of fighter is a person that gets hyper emotional. He's gonna lose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, he's gonna lose because he's thinking with emotion. I already know what I'm gonna do to you. What I need to get all excited for?
Correct.
Again, it's a predator to apex predator. There was a sister that was asking another question about what's the other thing. You need to know your entry and exit points. Sisters, you need to think about hand-to-hand fighting. Look at your hands. How many weapons do you? I want every sister right now to hold up their hands and tell me how many weapons they have. Just their hands. What you don't know is that you actually have 20 weapons. 10 knives. 10 knuckles. If you want to go 30, 10 fingers. If you wear earrings, the studs, that's a weapon. Has a point to it. If you wear belts, some you can choke with. Purse, some you can choke with. The carrying part of the purse, some you can hit somebody with. That's a club. Your knees. You at any given time, each person has at least 100 weapons on them before they even have a gun. You just got to know how to use them. You need to know elbow strikes. You need to know fist strikes. You need to know. See, Funi said 36. See, exactly my point. You have weapons all over you. All you have to do is be trained on how to use them. Be trained on how to use them. That's the stuff that we don't do in our community. Now we talking about. I listen to a lot of people in the so-called movement talk about going against the mean old white man. Here's where I go. Y'all gonna lose. And they go, why? I said, but white folks are training Krav Maga. They're doing MMA all day. You think you're gonna go up there and you're gonna do one of these numbers? Boy, they're gonna put some things on you that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life.
Somebody else on the ground, how to break
that's what
leg or arm.
They're gonna do a whole drum solo. They're gonna be out there like they auditioning for Purple Rain.
You guys remember the post I put up after the Rick Ross fight? I said, you guys got to understand, all you guys down here in Miami, Florida, urban areas in the U.S., let me tell you something. Those dudes in Canada, and I have family members in London and England, these dudes fight for a living. They go old school. They ain't with no picking up no guns. These guys will fight you, and then if they lose, they go to training and come back and fight you again. When Ross was up there with his homeboys, they're used to sticks. They're used to guns, right? They ain't got no guns up there. So the white boy was like, who are you talking to? And as soon as Ross said something, he punched him dead in his mouth. And he said, and then Ross comes out and says, oh, he said to me, I know MMA. And he was joking around, but let me tell you something, without those people there, that MMA dude, they probably choked and killed your ass.
If you don't know what a carotid artery choke is, if you don't know what a throat gouge is, if you don't know what hitting somebody in their nose will doggone automatically stop a fight. If you hit somebody square in the chin, it'll automatically stop. You hit somebody in the temple, it'll disorient them. If I clap you in your ear, I can bust your eardrum and disorient you. If I hit you a certain way in your spine, I can paralyze you. If you don't know this stuff right now, don't you talk about fighting no doggone troglodyte. They do this all the time.
Yeah.
So you're right.
You might stab him in the stomach, but he's going to stab you in a vent. He's going to literally stab you in a pressure point. You know what pressure points are? You know what they're designed to do? You know why they call them pressure point? Because it's a certain amount of blood flow that comes through that causes a certain amount of pressure. If you stop that, that's why it causes pain. That's why you can do pain compliance. If you don't know this stuff, you don't know medial nerve compliance. We don't know this stuff. You need to get on this stuff. So what's the other thing you need to know? How to inflict bodily harm on somebody without touching a tool. What are your weapons of opportunity in the house? You got weapons all in there. You got pots, you got pans, you got pens, you got pencils, you got safety pins, you got doggone blow dryer, you got whatever up in there. You got chairs, whatever. I don't understand how women get beat up in the house. I don't. I mean, you got all that stuff up in there.
Yeah, she's talking about this right here, this point, this comment from the sister right here. There's not too many men in this show because we got a problem of black men having an ego problem. That's our problem.
Agreed.
You think we're gonna just box our way out? Like I'm just say, you think you're gonna box your nigga? You need to know how to box, how to fight, how to grapple, stab the person in the eye. Like you need to. Like I train in jujitsu, like Bruce Lee, like whatever it takes to get a person off of you, like Krav Maga, jujitsu, and Jeet Kune Do, rather. Excuse me. But these are things like deadly stuff to get. You should be training in deadly stuff. You're gonna teach your kids something. Teach them some. You know, forget about karate, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, Krav Maga. Those are the arts you need to be teaching him. Forget this passive stuff. You know, but we got a problem in the community where we are just not listening. You know what I mean? At a large scale, like 99% of men in our community are not listening.
Correct.
Man, and the problem is you expect these men expect these sisters to follow them. Let me tell you something. I do not want to be a leader of my house if I can't lead my wife. And when I say that is I have to be capable of leading my wife, not me say you do. Like I joke with her a lot. I do the caveman thing, we joking with her. But at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna walk up and be like me husband, you wife, you do what husband say, and can't do a thing. Can't if power go out, I'm worse than her. I'm sitting here crying. What am I gonna do? I don't know what to do.
Like Van
Well, when the
Jones.
eye power went out, I got frustrated for half a second.
Right.
I looked up. I said, well, all right. Went up there and all she heard was this big generator going off. I'm getting cables throwing up the windows, linking them up the doggone fans and everything else. Because my thought process was my family gonna be straight. I don't care if I'm dog tired. And I was. After that hurricane, I'm gonna tell you something. We got the power back. I slept so good because I was tired. I was tired. I wanted to make sure my wife was straight. My son, my bonus son was straight. My children that wasn't even in the house was straight. My mother, who don't even live with us, is straight. My sister, I was mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to be called a MAN, all caps, G-O-D lowercase, the fact of the matter is you got to be on that kind of time. Men have to make sacrifices. That's what we do. We stressed all the time. Why men stressed all the time? Because we understand and embrace sacrifice. That is what we do. All the time, every day, 24/8, 366. We understand sacrifice, whether it's a minor sacrifice or a major sacrifice. It is yet still a sacrifice, especially if you love somebody. So with that being said, my wife wouldn't look at me as a man if I couldn't protect her.
Correct.
I wouldn't expect her to. My wife wouldn't be with me if I couldn't protect her. First of all, y'all know me. But at the end of it, I wouldn't expect her to look at me as a man. If we in this little bitty situation, this little bitty rainstorm, we can't survive. What the hell are you gonna do if martial law comes? If you can't survive a hurricane, you a dead man when martial law comes. You a dead man if they shut the power grid down and you don't know how to survive because you're used to your phone. What about when they had the Facebook whiteout that day?
Yeah.
I saw so many people go bonkers because of Facebook.
Crying.
Man, what's going on with Facebook? I was so concerned. I'm like, dog, it's social media. So what?
Those are people that require attention to get by.
Yes, they need other people's business to breathe.
No one can hear me. Correct. No one can see me say something stupid to my status.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Sister Rose is asking a question, y'all. I'm sorry. I do want to know what items we should have, though. Okay, so you should have cases of MREs on standby, meals ready to eat, on standby. You should grow your vegetables, have them ready. All right. You should have water. Stack up on water. Just buy water just because.
Yeah.
Get your filtration kits and have your filtration kits on standby ready. You should have a closet with all survival items and buy a big tactical bag just in case you gotta go. Canned foods also. Canned goods will save your life in a situation like that. Canned goods will save your life absolutely.
Correct.
Yes, they will. Yeah.
25 gallon damn
Camelbacks.
No, 25-gallon water that you can buy at HEB. Like get 5 of those. Now you got gallons of water. Like not
correct.
Bottles.
Right. So make sure you stack it up on water, canned goods, so far survival equipment. If you don't have a firearm, I don't know why, get firearms, rubbing alcohol, get a first aid kit, a whole kit, and isopropyl alcohol. Not alcohol like Hennessy, isopropyl alcohol. So we got to be specific. But
so no Tito's, no Grey Goose.
I mean, you have it on the side.
Oh, okay.
Get a little stressful sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
If you're trying to make a cocktail Molotov.
Now, I will say this though.
Brother Nate,
I will say this though. Yeah. It's okay to have some vodka on the side because it's a good disinfectant.
Yes.
Brother Nate, you was trying to say something?
Drink all
your
the
volume's very low.
Like, you should have prepping food. So I take canned good. I can my own food. Can your food, like physically get a mason jar and put food in it and cook it like you cook that crack. And
Brother Nate,
my dog.
Man, you gotta have the headphones. The headphones.
Brother Nate, your volume's very low. It's
oh, my
very
fault.
low.
I didn't have the headphones on. I was saying you need to be cooking with
That's my
mason jars.
dog.
You can do meal prep with this fruit, whatever stuff you like, whatever spice level. I wouldn't suggest doing a lot of spices because in a survival situation, you probably don't want a lot of spicy food on your stomach. But yeah.
How about
also real quick, something else for the ladies? Sister, I think it was Sister Fundi, she pointed out as well too. But for ladies especially, one of the things that you definitely want to consider, because as men, we probably wouldn't think about that because we're men. But for the ladies, make sure you got yourself some pads or some feminine hygiene products as well too. So your tampons, your pads, whatever the case may be, make sure you got that on deck. Because again, you want to try and you're not trying to live like you in absolute comfort. We get that, but at the same time, you don't need to tack on any more worries and concerns than necessary. And last thing you need is when your auntie come in town. Now you got to deal with bleeding all over the place, and especially like Amun said earlier, you're trying to keep it on the low. You're trying to avoid detection or whatever. So they're out here looking for signs of life. Pretty sure if that, all those symptoms are out there because you don't have adequate protection, you're going to get caught lacking.
And you're going to get hunted by predators like coyotes.
Correct. I want to say this real quick. Ladies, when y'all go on trips, y'all bring about 4,000 suitcases. When we in survival, make sure you are training yourself to take what you need. We don't need you taking no damn blow dryer when you got to run out here. So make sure you guys exactly
one bag
that you can physically carry. That
you can carry
on your back. I'm gonna carry my bag on my back. I can't carry you.
I got hard body armor, soft body armor, weapons, and all this other stuff. I don't need an extra bag when I got over 100 pounds of gear too.
You gotta learn how to improvise. If you want a blow dryer, let your hair down and run like hell. Run fast.
Also so for tampons. Tampons are a good. If you get shot, tampons are a good wound packer.
Correct. Correct.
Good for that.
I just want to say real quick, all the women on here and fellas too, all the women on here that you guys know there's a lot of men, because it's easy for women to talk to men. If you know that there's men that should be on here watching this and they're not on here, maybe they're at work, it's Sunday, it's a slow day. A lot of things people do, they're getting rest up for work tomorrow. This link is going to be on our site, so you can share it. You can grab the link after the program is over, share it to everybody you know, put it in the group chat, so that way whenever they're at work or their downtime, they can listen to this 2-hour playback and then get all the information. Rose, we talked about the many other things of what you need in the earlier segment of this program, so even you can go back and listen to the first part, and you have your book where you can write down everything, because we're talking at regular speed right now.
I kind of call BS, Malcolm, because a lot of dudes, you ain't on your job for a year. You haven't bought a gun in a year. You haven't bought a bug-out bag in a year. Like, that's an excuse for you not doing what you need to do. Like, that's what this boils down to, bro. Like, seriously, a lot of us are going to die, man.
A lot of us are going to die due to the disease called laziness.
Correct. But just like pamphlets,
so
just like pamphlets, we put all the pamphlets by the door. Whoever take it in their house, hey, as long as you know you got the pamphlet out there. Just like this, you got the link. The link is gonna sit in your thing. It's either gonna help you or you're just gonna ignore it and you're gonna be out here lost.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now another thing,
they want to help themselves.
Another thing I would say you need to have with you in your house is a compass. I showed you that earlier.
Yes.
You need to learn land navigation, people. Reason being, and you need, when you're riding, whether you're on a date or whether you're driving, pay attention to your surroundings. Know how to get to places without a GPS, without anything. You should know what exit leads to what. A good small cast iron pot is good also. You got to have that. But at the end of the day, you need a compass to learn. If you walking outside, it's nighttime, and you don't know how to get north, you should know what Polaris is. Polaris is the North Star. It's time. Like we say we woke, right? This is what we do. Yeah. We go look at what ancient Africans did umpteen millions of years ago, right? But what we failing to realize is the Dogons were good on stars, and you don't understand part of that was land and celestial navigation. So we rather look at the stuff that we can romanticize, like, hey, we could build a pyramid. I don't want that's a huge stone. I don't want that's the significance of building a pyramid, but I do want to read a map, because if I have a map in my hand and the grid, I need to know how to look at a map of Texas and say I'm in Houston, zoom it out, be able to look and see a difference between a ravine, a freeway, a river, or whatever I need. You see what I'm saying? That answer. Remember I did the fire thing earlier, so we're gonna go back to that. Lint, dry lint. You want to save your dry lint, as much of it as you can. Put it in a trash bag, put it in a corner. Don't throw it away. Take a little bit at a time. Put some in your bug out bag. When the stuff gets bad, you should have a ish ton of dry lint. Reason being is because you wash clothes, right? So that's an igniter. Okay, dry lint is one hell of an igniter. You saw it earlier when I did that class on how to doggone start a fire, right?
Correct.
You take that dry lint, you ball it up, you put it in a pot, you get your magnesium, you go ahead and make sure you invest in magnesium strips. They have fire starter kits at any Army surplus or even Walmart. They have them at Academy too. If we're going out buying all this high fashion stuff and we're not buying survival stuff, when we're looking at a survival scenario, we deserve what's coming.
Yeah.
I got a question real quick that just came in. If you have small children, do they each need to pack their own bag?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody, imagine 100 people are gonna be walking out somewhere. You're not gonna have plastic bags and all this crap. Like, prepare now. Like, spend $60 on a basic bag that's a reliable bag that's not gonna fall apart, including the kids. So the kids have a bug out bag with little bitty starter kit. I physically show them how to start a fire with the wax and all this sort of stuff. They need to learn how to do this stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Like I said, just we don't have much time on here, so just get the questions rolling while you have these knowledgeable men on here. There's no bad question. Anything that come to your mind, just throw it out there. It might spark into something else that we probably don't even realize we didn't talk about, that created that dialogue. So just throw it out there and we can answer whatever.
I always go back to the canning of your food. That's a way for you to preserve food and that you can have in a home base, like at the house. I'm not going to carry these canned goods out of here if we need to bug out. But if I had to come back to the house, I know I got resources here. Or if we establish a network of resources that we trust, because when food and water becomes real, people will kill you for food and water.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So you got to be able to have these things, but also protect it. So we want to, Black people in the community, we want to be peaceful. That's all great. But when it's time to not be peaceful, when we have a garden, we have a farm, some people have farm, they have land, and they're getting bullied by who knows who, we can't live in that mindset, man. We got to have self-defense at every level. We don't care if you're a hospital, your farm, wherever you are, at least you have some level of defense to protect what you have at the end of the day.
And
I will also throw this out there, if you don't mind, folks. If you're not working out and in a physical fitness, you need to do so. You can be lazy as you want, but at the end of the day, I ain't carrying your big ass if you ain't doggone healthy. Okay, I got enough stuff on my doggone shoulder to stop and say, let me go pick up this 250-pound sister and throw her on my shoulder too. No, when you can work out and be able to carry yourself up that hill, you got to be able to carry yourself up that hill. A lot of us are sitting up there saying we got time. Black people, you got everything but time. You got oppression. You got oppression. You got people that want to kill you. You got racism. You got systematic racism. You got economic racism. You got social racism. On top of that, you got your own people who really don't want you around them. So you got divisiveness. You got all this stuff. You got a whole lot of stuff, black people. Guess what you don't have a lot of? The will to survive. That is a few, that is a low number, and that's okay, because at the end of it, even for those Bible thumpers out there, they said the rapture wasn't going to be a big number, right? So I could say that so far as an Africanism, those who survive this is not going to be a big number, because we actually take survivability serious. We don't care about hurting nobody's feelings. When I'm talking to people in the community about how to survive and physical fitness and the importance of, my brother Nate's going on 50. I'll be 51 this month. So we understand the importance of being healthy. We understand the importance of being in shape and being strong. We train each other. We train to lift people. When I lift weights, I'm not doing it for show. I'm doing it for survival. I train to lift people. All right.
Correct.
So at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, if you want to survive, you need to be physically fit as well. If you take it any kind of way, take it any kind of way. I don't care. You need to doggone survive. You need to train your body for survival. You need to. There's a sister that was on here commenting a lot. Sister Fundi Fee. Sisters, if you don't want to listen to brothers talk about martial arts, that sister is a Tai Chi master. She needs to be on your show. She is a Tai Chi master. All right.
What?
This woman has great pleasure in teaching sisters martial arts, and I'm talking about bad. You don't want to fight Fundi. A man won't want to fight Fundi.
Okay.
Okay.
I heard that.
I love
heard
it.
that.
I love
Yeah.
it.
What I was gonna say about you hit it on the head when you said, oh, I was actually researching earlier, because I said I wanted to kind of bulk up in mass, so I was doing a little program thing that tells you what exercises you need to do. So they told me to type in my height, type in my weight, and I thought like I was underweight, and it by the mass and height, I'm actually normal. And people look at me and say, "Damn, you're slim," but we're not built like that. We're not really built to be obese like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you
People think
African? The body mass index, brother, is mostly designed towards troglodytes. You can't gauge that on an African person scale. I'm a Haitian man. All right, they would call me. I'm 220 pounds, brother, solid. They would call me obese.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be, my body mass index, if I went on the troglodyte scale, I'm supposed to be 178 pounds. I don't think so.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't think so.
Gotcha.
All right.
I
But at the same
hate
time,
BMI with the passion.
I love being the way that I am. It's what makes you comfortable. Now, if you want to build
Correct.
mass, I'm going to tell you what I tell power lifters when I train them. Eat.
Correct. Yeah.
And lift heavy. Eat, lift
Correct.
heavy, low cardio. Because cardio is going to burn all that. You're going to get a tummy.
Yeah.
That's all right. Once you get it, you get to your goal, then you cut it off. But right now, your goal is to eat. You eat what? Food. Eat. Good food, but eat.
Spinach, protein.
Yeah.
Eat. I'm talking about don't just more than one setting. If you sit there and you still kind of hungry, go eat again.
Yes.
And then when you work in the gym, you got to realize this though. Your calorie intake suffer. You're gonna suffer for what you eat.
Correct.
That means you're gonna go in the gym and you're gonna work hard. You're gonna work hard. You're gonna work hard. You're gonna work hard. Boy, I wish I had you up here in Houston. You would hate me. I had Mila in the gym yesterday. She was mad at me for a whole day. But hey, I got my wife bench pressing 145 pounds.
Hey, that's awesome.
Oh, that's crazy.
For reps.
I'm inspired by y'all video.
2 sets of 6 reps of 145.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Let's go.
That's wild.
Yes.
That's right.
You got guys that can't do that. You got men that can't do that. She's still mad at you.
And when she's doing spotted pull-ups, she's doing 2 sets of 10.
That's crazy.
Pull up.
That is crazy. That's amazing. Let me tell you something. What these guys, I know a lot of y'all think this is funny, but what these guys are talking about, this part right here is one of the realest parts of what we're discussing. Because you got a lot of us, like we said earlier, you know, when it comes to having a problem with another black person, we Billy Badass, right? And we want to go run and grab our guns and all of this, and that's how we bad. But, you know, if everything go down and you don't have access to your gun, whatever the case may be, worst case scenario, you got to be bad on your own. You dig? And you can't be bad if you can't walk 50 paces without breathing hard. You know, a lot of us are really, really out of shape. And it's got to do with two simple things: lack of exercise, three really, lack of discipline, lack of exercise, and a very poor diet.
Because I don't want to sweat.
You really got to get on top of that, huh?
I don't want to sweat. My hair gonna get messed up. Man, come on, dog.
And there's no excuse for it.
There's no excuse, bro. It's no excuse. Like even swim. Oh, black people. Y'all listening? Thank you. That's my dog. Black people, learn how to swim.
Oh man, don't get me started.
I ain't getting my hair messed up, boy. I've heard dudes say it. I ain't getting my locks messed up. Listen, when me and my wife was in Vegas, I went straight to the pool. I'm all up in there. I'm all up in there.
Exactly.
Dude said that to you, he not getting his locks messed up.
Yeah.
Look,
it seemed a little happy to me. I mean,
look, and I'll be the first one to acknowledge it, because when one of the big things that I had to come to grips with was what I'm going to do with my hair, because I've been growing this since the pandemic. I can't see it too much because of my background, but my locks are at least down to my shoulders now. Yeah. And I love my locks. I don't know if I'll ever cut them, but if it's going to happen, it ain't going to be anytime soon. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm very physically active. So I train, I do my jiu-jitsu. I'm into training at least 4 times a week. Yeah. At least 4 days a week I'm training. And I'm a big dude, I sweat easily. So when I get busy, I get busy. There's no such thing as me leaving the gym and I'm not soaked. So my hair is going to get wet. And then in addition to that, I lift weights at least 3 times a week as well too. Usually I have to do at least one day on a day when I'm not training. So that means at least 5 days out the week, I'm going to need to not just bathe myself for sure, but I need to actually wash my hair. And it's a pain in the ass. And I had to ask myself a question. For the sake of convenience, I can cut my locks. It's going to make my life a lot easier. I can easily just, wash myself off. No big deal. Do I want to keep my locks? Am I going to use an excuse to back off? Or am I going to just suffer through it? I decided to suffer through it.
That's so because you're true Pan-African. Are you a real Pan? Question is, are you a real Pan-African? I've seen people that say they're Pan-Africans talk about cutting their locks off. One thing, this is 7 years right here, bro. 7 years. My hair's down on my back. Let me tell you this. There's one thing. There's one reason I would cut my locks off. 2, all out war, and I'm dead. Because by comedic right, when comedians fight, they have to shave their head so the enemy doesn't grab their hair. But when the war is over, they grow their hair again because that's a sign of peace. When I leave here and go to the next realm, I shave my head because I'm going to be reborn into another life. So I'm coming into that world with no hair, no knowledge of this past existence. So then when I leave here, one of my requirements before I get cremated is to have my locks shaven off.
Yeah. Okay.
But until then, these bad boys staying to me. They staying. I have wrapped around my waist like a belt.
This is 2007 to now. So from 2007 to now. My hair, I always got fascinated with the story of Samson. Because, when you talk about the powers in your hair. And when I had cut, I cut my hair in 2018 to go to my dad's funeral. And I kept my locks and I re-put them back in my hair. But I only did that to pay respects to my father, because my father is from Jamaica. And if you know Caribbean parents, they hate when you grow your hair. As much as they be around Rastas all the time, they have a disdain for people. If you're not a real Rasta, you shouldn't have your hair. But this is antennas. These are extended antennas. These are extended knowledge to your brain. You know what I'm saying? And when I cut my hair, I felt the difference. That shit is real. This shit is real. When they talk about extensions at the antennas, this is real. So I won't cut. I would never cut my locks.
For me, there's no spiritual significance. I wouldn't say it was a fashion statement, but I was thrilled with the idea of being able to grow my hair, because for the longest time, growing up in Miami, during my era when I was youngin', the thing to do was to get your hair braided. That was the big style back then, so whatever. My hair, for whatever reason, could never get above a little baby fro. I used to just let it sit for the longest, wouldn't cut it for nothing. I had my little Raj from What's Happening Now, little fro right there. It would not grow any further. So at that point, I just got having the fro. Used to keep my hair cut for the longest. And I did not have a chance of even thinking to grow my hair out until the pandemic hit when I couldn't go to my barber. And then all of a sudden, I just up and realized one day, I looked in the mirror like, oh, damn. My hair is a lot longer than it's ever been. Yeah. So then I was like, well, you know what? Let's see what the hell's going to happen. And it just keeps on growing out at this point. But ultimately, for me, it was always about freedom because even with my facial hair before, I worked a job, I worked security. And even though you work security, one of the policies most firms have is they don't want you having facial hair on you. You can have a mustache, but they don't want you having long beards, whatever. So I would purposely push it as much as I could to get the 5 o'clock shadow. And then I shave it, and I made a pledge to myself, after I leave here, whatever, it's cool, I'll do it for now. But when I leave here, I am never going to work a job where me having to cut my hair, facial hair, whatever, will ever be a requirement again.
Hair requirements, yeah.
That's why I do
it, it's because I want to, but it's not because someone says, hey, you got to do this. Because if that's getting lobbed at me, I'm out. And so for me, it's about the freedom. It's about I can grow this, I can do what I want to do. It's not nasty, it's not disgusting. I'm well manicured, I'm well put together. There's nothing dirty about it. This is just my expression. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when it came to a point where I had to consider, okay, my training means a lot to me. Am I going to sacrifice my training for my hair? And if I have to, the question is, it's going to have to go. But I've been able to find a way where I can make it work, and it doesn't interfere with me, doesn't get in my way, it's not a liability, it doesn't offset me. But survival is paramount. Nothing is going to get in the way of my ability to be able to protect myself, defend myself, and those I love. And anything in the way of that is the obstacle, and it's got to go. Correct. Because that's first and foremost.
Well, locks is us. It's our culture. It is what it is. Even that's why I left the oil industry, because they wanted me to shave and all that. No, I'm tired of that. I'm not. You telling me to take away everything about me that makes me African? I'm not doing it. I'm a Zoe, true, but that's the closest you're gonna be to Africa without actually being on Africa. So I'm a proud Zoe. So with that being said, I'm gonna have my locks. I'm not gonna have no naughty dreads. I don't want the free forms. I want to be nice and neat, but I'm gonna have my locks because it shows my patience. It shows my journey in this. It shows everything I've gone through. Ironically, I grew I have 7 years of growth, and it was from the first day I started Anubis. I've not cut my locks since.
Wow. Nice. That's crazy.
So every experience I've had in Anubis is in my hair. Good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. Sometimes I wish I could start over from a fade. I ain't lying, but but at the same time, I also have my father's transition in my hair.
Yeah.
I also
the
have
journey is the journey.
Yeah, I also have my second granddaughter being born, my first granddaughter being born in my hair.
Correct.
It's all digits. This is the Akashi records right here.
Yeah.
These are my Akashi records. This is the records of my legacy and everything that's been happening right now, and every blessing that I've been getting. My marriage is in my locks.
Yes.
It's stored into my locks. I definitely wouldn't cut them. That was the best day of my life. I married my best friend. It's stored in my locks.
Correct.
The fact that I could meet a woman of that caliber and be able to be brought for her to see me on that and then me notice that maturity I have is stored in my locks.
Correct.
Because I remember when I didn't have my locks, I was a totally different person.
Yeah.
It's not lost on me. Go ahead.
No, because I was saying you feel it. One thing I did want to say real quick to the people that do have locks, I think the one thing that saved me wouldn't save me, but it kind of helped me, is the fact that I have Jamaican background. So I remember when I got hired for the company, they didn't bother me with the locks, but then they got bought out by a major company and they started bullying me about my locks. So one thing, I went to the HR and I told them, I said, hey, I'm Jamaican descent. This is religious reasons. And once I said that, they left me alone. So if you want to use religious reasons inside the workforce, do it. You never know. They stopped with me, and I've been 14 years in the corporate America as an account manager. So just to give you guys some kind of protection if you're in the corporate world.
Back to survival, if you don't mind. There's another important thing you need to do, brothers and sisters. Learn to build. Not build. Build. You need to learn how to build structures. You need to learn how to build something with you need to start with building a chair, just a basic chair. A desk. Learn how to stain. Reason why am I saying this? Why is that important? One, if you know how to build, you will always have money. You will never be broke in this world, ever. Never. You might not be rich or where you want to be, but when the economy falls, you the rich man. Why? Because you can build. All right. Not to mention the capacity of being able to build is you setting the precedence for a whole lot of things. I could build a shelter to totally conceal everybody in Anubis if I went on the land right now. I could literally build a structure and hide them.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I could literally do it underground. Why? Because I know how to build.
Correct.
All right. We keep talking about this other woke stuff that we used to talk about, brothers and sisters, but you never talk about your ability to pick up a tool and use it. Every time I hear the word nation builder or build, is somebody talking, but they don't know what. I ask them, I said, all right, what tools you got, man? What's your favorite tool?
Correct.
What you mean? I mean, Ryobi, Milwaukee, what? I don't really do none of that. Well, I mean, are you a builder? No? Then what are you talking about building for?
Yep.
Do you know how to lay a foundation? Because we keep talking about the foundation, which in Africanism, which is why I like to build, it's called Olokun. So the deity of the foundation, right?
Yeah.
The Orisha or the Loa in my culture, of the foundation of the earth. So do you know how to build on the African level? When I build a house, you got to lay the Olokun first. That's the foundation. All right. Then after you do the Olokun, and you put the Ogun inside of it, which is the iron, because Ogun is the Orisha or iron. So then after that, you do the framework that's protecting everything. That's summoning Shango. You understand what I'm saying? So after you put everything over and you build a complete structure, you should have, when you come inside, everybody's happy. You should be blessed with Oshun, love. You understand what I'm saying? But in the meantime, in between time, when everything's just a pile of wood and materials, that's Eshu. Or Anubis, walking you to the mystery, the 4 realms. Everything can be done on an African level if you study the African culture. But talking about it and building is 2 different things. When I build, I build. So I say I'm a nation builder. What do you mean? Well, I mean, I can build a house, I can build a road, I can build a street, I can build a wall, but I can also build a family.
Yeah. Exactly.
The other survival tactic that we can use, brothers and sisters, and you might not want to hear this part, but go and grab your seats. Find a brother or a sister that makes sense to you. Build a relationship. Get married. Because there's nothing that's going to save your ass more than what's coming than having a whole family unit looking out for each other. That is right now, this is the ultimate survival tactic, to have a family. I ain't saying marry anybody, because you already know what's out there, hardly nothing. But if you find something that makes sense to you, marry that person. Get with them. Be serious about it. Marry that person. Because right now, when all hell breaks out and you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 59, 50, 11 girlfriends or boyfriends, you know what's going to happen? You ain't going to know which way to go, and everybody going to be on their own. You have to, we are in a tribe up scenario right now. We are in a tribe scenario. Tribe.
Preach,
my wife is my tribe. My wife's family is my blood. That's tribe. That's how you build dynasties, empires, nations. You tribe up. My friends that I have, like Funifeed, my dear friends, my sister, part of my tribe. Everybody else, part of my tribe. You all, part of my tribe. Part of my tribe. Now, if you sit up and saying, I'm just going to live a single life, all right, good luck. When them lights get turned off, you're going to wish you had somebody to have you 6.
Shit.
Because nobody going to protect you like your father, your husband.
For real.
Ain't nobody going to protect you like them.
We got to taste that during the pandemic. A whole lot of people that was talking this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Forget the economic side of it. Just the companionship. They were looking for someone they could be quarantined up with.
Yeah. Because when you got to survive on your own, that is called the land of bad. When you got to survive on your own. Sisters, why am I saying that? Why is this important to sisters? I don't know. Y'all got this one barter tool that you might not want to use, but it's definitely a barter tool. I'm not going to say what it is because I had to be explicit. So with that being said, a lot of people are going to want that barter tool, and they will take it. You need to have somebody to protect you. Because if you don't think rape is gonna skyrocket during that, you better take again, buddy. People gonna get their rocks off in the pandemics. They want to get their rock when a scenario like that. You think a foreign country comes and they see a woman walking down the street, she ain't gonna get raped if she by herself. That's a power play. Men do that for power play. That's what men used to get butt broken. That was a power play. It wasn't necessarily to get their rocks. I was to have power over you to let you know who was in charge.
Right.
So you walking there by yourself and you hear about, I don't need no man. I don't need no man. Okay, you don't need no man. You gonna need a man.
Yeah.
I said a man, not a little boy. A man. A man. Please get a man.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Couldn't they just simply choose a bear?
I mean, they could, but you know, bears got that pimp hand, and pimp hand strong. I don't know. That pimp hand strong on a bear,
though. So I know we getting we about to wrap up out of here. I do want to elaborate a little bit. I'll piggyback off of Amon, what he was saying about bartering. Is very important because they're going to switch this financial system. One thing that you're going to need in your house is to have a safe. Make sure you have a safe and put some money in there because they're going to start shutting down these banks. They're going to tell you can't get into your account, and you're going to be screwed if you don't have extra funds at the house. Don't tell nobody that you have a safe, man. Stop telling people your whole plate. Don't let nobody know you have a safe with your immediate family, if that, or just the ones you trust. Start putting stuff in that safe so you have something in the bank and something in the safe. If they don't take cash, they got your card. If they don't take cards, you got your cash. Please, I'm telling you what's coming. I've seen it in other countries. It just hasn't got here yet. All right. Leave out with that, but also make sure that you have knowledge about bartering. And one thing he did say is, establishing with a great woman, women, part of their femininity is building. When you look back at the old school women, they were sewing clothes. We wasn't buying clothes that was torn. Back then, you got your thread, your needle, and they would sew back your clothes if it got torn. Women have so much phenomenal skills. And when you have a great woman on your side, there's creativity in that woman that's going to help you to find resources and build things around their house to have you bartering. Because if the whole money system shut down, your currency is going to be what you can produce. Just like what Amon said, like he can build stuff. You know what I'm saying? What is it that you can contribute that somebody else wants? If you're growing food and you got a bunch of mangoes, that's your currency. That's going to be great for you, and exchange of goods. Before currency was even available, remember the bartering system was the currency before they made actual paper. So understand that. We got to get back to that part of it. Keep that in mind and start practicing that now. So that way when it hits, at least you'll be ahead of the curve. And that's what we want to prepare you for. I'm done here with what we got going on. I would definitely send it over to you guys so you guys can wrap it up for us. It's been a great show for tonight. And I know everybody got things to do in the morning. And also tell people and share this with everybody else. It's going to be up. So with that being said, I'll pass it over to you guys. And you guys can close us out.
Nate.
Your final thoughts with the microphone.
I'm just saying, appreciate you having me. I think you got a great conversation here. Man-versations is a dope concept. Continue the good work and try to, let's not just build. Let's physically do these things. You know what I mean? With those who are capable and willing to listen. So I appreciate you having me. Appreciate your time on the show, and y'all continue to do great things, man.
Anytime you want to come back, just let Amon know, and you can come back and holler at us if you have some information out there. This platform is available to you. We are your elevated voice.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah, I'd also y'all know what it is, man. We good friends. We solid, y'all, solid brothers. Me and Moon Guy talk a lot these days. I look forward to my man's coming down in Houston so we can hang out in person. Bobby, I'm a fan. I watch your page, bro. I watch how you get down on the floor with the martial arts, man. Big fan. My brother Ant, you're quite the intellectual mind, brother. And I love being able to build with brothers who have intellect. I love discussing things with black men.
Damn it, boy.
Damn it, boy.
Damn it, boy.
Damn it, boy.
Damn it, boy. Yeah, that's my thing. So I see something screwed up, I go, damn it, boy. And I just do this right here. But
I did want to show people this real quick, and then I'll let you go back to.
Sure.
But Amon, this is what he does. You guys follow him. He can do work if you're in the Houston area.
Thank you.
Need anything done. The brother is great with his hands. He done built bookshelves for his wife and everything else. So anything minute to anything major, this man can probably put his hands on. So don't be afraid to watch, to look out and reach out to him so you can, help you out with the resources. And trust me, a man that has a heart like that is going to be in your best interest. Remember, you got people out here who are predators who just want your money and they don't give you quality. He's not going to do anything if it ain't on the standard of quality. He's not going to tell you he going to do for you, and it's something that is out of the range of doing something, or something that you really don't need, and to save you money and say, hey, this is what you really need. Don't listen to that. He's that type of guy. So you're going to get a lot of resources just talking to him in general, and then having them to do the work is going to be the bonus part as well. So reach out to Amon for that. I just wanted to give you that praise, and go ahead, you can finish up with what you were saying.
But yeah, like I said, I've been a fan of Manifestations for a minute. My wife hit me onto it, and after that, I said, man, they're talking about some good stuff. And Moon Guy keeps me laughing. Boy, I can't get on this post and not laugh. I can't. It's not a time I don't laugh. Bobby's like that concealed joker. He'll say something, and then I look at it. It's like hilarious because he got a Marine sense of humor, and I'm a retired Marine, so I'm looking. We here. We got a warrior sense of humor. So he'll say something, and I go like, "What is Bobby? Wow!" I just bust out laughing, and that's when I go in and say, "Damn it, boy!" That's when I go and say, "Damn it, boy!" But I thank y'all for having us on. Definitely, the Anubis Gun Club definitely does. Thank you. This month coming up will be 7 years. Anubis Gun Club has been a thing. It's been over 25 years of me actually working for the people, but it's been 7 years that the Anubis Gun Club has been on. And I'm going to give you a tidbit. It's been approximately 220 lives saved since Anubis has been formed.
Nice.
Now that's numbers. Now that's numbers.
That's what you call leading by example, not talking, leading by example.
And my brother Nate, I'm thankful to the Most High for him. Good, like I said, good man, good friend. My brother Jaden, great guy, great friend. My sister Circle, my wife Mila's and all part of the Anubis Gun Club, and I guess she's the queen bee of the sister circle because they hover around her. But I mean, it's such a dynamic group, man. When you see those sisters and brothers together, when you see all of us together, it's a complete and total family vibe. We had some, but we had to go ahead and break out the machete and chop some folks, but it happens. But at the end of it, the circle that I'm around right now makes me grateful to have listened to my father when he was on his dying bed saying, don't stop what you're doing for the people. You believe in it. And I told him, I said, Dad, I'm going to give it 10 years. And he said, well, give it the best 10 years you got. Yeah. And when I did that, it's times I want to walk away. But I tell you what, when I see brothers like Nate, Jaden, when I see my other brothers in the mix, I don't want to go nowhere.
Exactly.
Because they make it worthwhile. They make it worthwhile. You all make it worthwhile. So here's my closing survival thought. There's a saying in there's a movie called Menace of Society. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And Charles Dutton said this: the hunt is on, and you are the prey. And all we're asking you to do is survive. Fact of the matter is, you have the ultimate choice of whether you want to live or die. And I do mean it exactly as I'm saying. You have the ultimate choice, but if you want to make the choice to be a victor and not a victim, you have to do everything necessary to in regards to the research and in regards to the training. You have to at this point. You don't have to join an organization. You have to get your happy behind out there and put some gear on your back and ruck. You have to go out there and go to the range. You have to try fishing. You have to learn how to build. And if joining an organization is the best way to do it, call an Uber's Gun Club. We're waiting on you.
Well said. Amen.
All right. Indeed.
All right. Drake, Bobby, y'all, Major, Bobby, y'all want to say some things?
Yeah, real quick, I did want to say in closing, there was something that I wanted to mention beforehand, and I slipped my mind just now. But we're talking about firearm safety. Another way is you need to protect yourself also, because it's very crucial, it's very important, and something that doesn't get talked about often is you need to make sure that you're protected on the legal side of the game too. It's very important. If you have a firearm, it don't matter if you don't carry. Maybe you have your tool, you keep it at home, it's for home defense only. Maybe you only keep it in your car, your vehicle. It doesn't matter. If there is a firearm anywhere in your vicinity, you need to have firearm legal protection on your back. Personally, I rock with U.S. Law Shield. You have USCCA out there. There are other organizations, but it's important that you have that. Just because you pull that thing out in self-defense and you defend yourself, that doesn't mean that you're off the hook. When the law gets called and there's an investigation, they're going to come, they're going to look and see what happened. There are times when you might actually get hauled in. They suspect you of committing a crime. They're going to drag you in. All the cops care about is closing the case. That's it. If they can go ahead and get that arrest, they can score on the books. They don't care who it's about. I remember many years ago when I got my carry license permit. My instructor was a retired police officer. He had been on the force about 25 years. One of the things I liked about him is that he had actually bragged that in his whole time, he had never once had to go ahead and pull his weapon. That's big. That told me a lot of things about him. One of the things that he's more geared towards community involvement, number one. He's good to be able to talk and diffuse situations. He's not a hothead. He's not the opposite, bragging about how he put down people and he's never had to go. No, he bragged about, I didn't have to pull my weapon out. And one of the stories he told us was about how there was an old woman in the area that he had been serving in, where she had been robbed by two dudes. Some dude pulled up in a whip. His young friend jumped out, tried to take her purse. Grandma was packing. So when she was trying to bribe her, she pulled out her pistol. She shot him. His friend took off. The one that she shot died, didn't make it. Later on, the friend came back to the scene and tried to press charges on her. She ended up getting arrested because on the 911 call, she called the 911, but the adrenaline was pumping, and she's running her mouth, spouting out, talking about how she shot so-and-so, he deserved it, he had it coming, that'll teach him a lesson, blah, blah, blah. The prosecutor made a case that this wasn't a woman acting in self-defense, but she was a gun-crazed hothead looking for a reason to put some new breathing holes in somebody. Now, she tried to fight the case on her own. Woman had to end up depleting her retirement savings. She had to go and put her house up. She had to go ahead and do all that trying to defend herself, and she still ended up serving some time.
Wow.
Even if that's not your situation, even if you get in there and you say nothing, it's possible that the person that you have to defend yourself against, they survive the encounter, or even if they don't, their family can come forward, and even if you beat the criminal case, or they find that you're not liable, they can still sue you civilly. Now, in a criminal case, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. You have to be able to prove you guilty without a reasonable doubt. The burden of proof is much lower in a civil case. Much lower. Perfect example would be the O.J. Simpson situation. So O.J. never got convicted for killing Ron Goldman and his ex-wife, but the family came and they sued him in the civil court and they won that because the burden of proof was different. And those civil suits can really take a hit out your pocketbook. If you have proper carry insurance on you, what will happen is you will have access to their network of lawyers and attorneys who will go and fight the case. In some situations, they might have you pay a certain amount, and once it reaches beyond that amount, you go ahead and kick in. I like U.S. Law Shield because with them it's a flat rate. They'll kick in and they'll cover, and not only will they cover your defense, but if there are any appeals or any additional work after the fact, that's lumped in as well too. That's a whole lot of money that you save, and you have top level defense in your back pocket. You don't have to be able to afford Johnny Cochran. You got your people right there, and all you're gonna pay is like $12 or $15 a month. Out of all the bills I have every month, that's probably the bill I don't even think twice about. I'm glad when I see U.S. Law Shield is taking X amount out your wallet. And in addition to that, those defenses can also cover you with other cases. So not only do they cover you with firearm cases, but maybe it's not a firearm. Maybe you had to go and use a knife to defend yourself. Maybe you had to mace and pepper spray somebody. If they try and take you to court for that, they'll cover you for that as well too. So there's a lot of reasons to have that extra level of coverage if you're going to be serious about protecting yourself. Get some protectors who are going to protect you.
We can't hear you.
Exactly. Speak a little bit late, Nate.
No ifs. Just do it. Like you need this. Like you need car insurance. Like
just do it.
Your car, but I don't suggest you do that.
You need to make sure that you're not put in a situation where you regret saving your life. Where you're like, damn, you know what? I should let them take me out. This would have been one less headache I got to worry about. So that's my final thoughts. The last thing I want to do is leave everyone with a quote. It says, I believe it comes from the Spartans. It says, "A city is well fortified, which has a wall of men instead of brick." Don't worry about having big, tall walls, gates, iron doors. If you don't have men or if you don't have strong individuals willing to guard those things, those are nice. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a human being, that meat suit, that's going to be the real last line of defense. You want to make sure that you are fully equipped and capable of protecting you, your loved ones, your family, your community in any and whichever way it needs to get down in.
Well said. Well said. Thanks for that extra jump. Gage, wrap us up out of here.
Get him, Gage.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? I feel great about this show because yet again, we're coming together, a melding of the minds, and bringing to the people something that will directly impact them in, a serious situation. And, a lot of these podcasters out here, they're not talking about this type of stuff. A lot of the brothers just on the street, even in the barbershops, whenever we come together, we're not talking about this stuff. And, I feel proud, that we're among the many, we're among the few that are bringing these conversations to the fold about something as serious as survival. As a people, we just need to be more serious minded. We need to grow the fuck up. Everybody should be having this conversation, particularly since we're in political season. And you see, you got Satan on one side and Beelzebub on the other. It's like, dude, when are you going to get serious? You know what I'm saying? Y'all still online talking about who Cardi B's fucking this week and all this old bullshit, or whatever. And even when we do discuss those things, we're not discussing them in the vein of purpose. If we're going, anytime that we talk about something celebrity related or whatever the case may be, we do it in the spirit of purpose. What can be learned from this thing? You know what I mean? Too many of us don't do that. It's just idle conversation and bullshit, and we could be getting so much more accomplished if we were just more focused and more understanding of matters that are pressing and things that need immediate attention. On top of the fact that we need to grow the fuck up, we need to get our priorities in order. You understand? Because there's just way too much of this stuff that's just not being attended to. So shout out to Brother Amun. Shout out to Anubis Gun Club. Shout out to Brother Nate. I mean, you guys, the information that you're giving us is invaluable, and we really, really appreciate you. We honor you. And, we want to encourage more brothers to get out here and do the work. Hit these brothers up on their page. Give them a call. Send them a donation. Whatever the case may be, because, the revolution is financial too, right? There's so many different points, that I want to touch on. It really doesn't allow me to in this small space, but suffice it to say, let's all get a little more serious. And in these coming months, let's take some of these things that these brothers have talked about and actually put them into practice. Let's go and learn how to fish. Let's go and sharpen up on our skills at the range. Let's get our eating habits together so that we can be healthier, so that when we're in a position where we need to fend for ourselves, we can do so. And we're not hesitant. We're not out of shape. We're not clueless. We're not dying. Because at the end of the day, what these guys are telling you is keeping you alive. That's why they're telling you this shit, because this is the type of information that's going to keep you alive. And if you're not equipped, if you're slipping in any capacity, we're coming into a time where, your last mistake could be your last mistake. So let's tighten up. And I'll land my plane.
All right. So
follow and subscribe to Manversations 2020 on YouTube. YouTube.com/@Manversations2020. Subscribe now. Yeah.
Definitely. That's the website that Instructor Nate gave us to pick up what we need to pick up off of that site as far as the mask and the different things on that site that you guys see that you need for your family. Before we get out of here, I definitely wanted to show that AMUN and the Animus Gun Club, they protected Dr. Umar when he came and spoke out there in Texas. That's AMUN and his wife, beautiful wife. AMUN again on job duty, just styling and profiling, making sure he's watching body posture. All right. So they are protecting our brother, making sure that they out here handling business and they mean what they say and they say what they mean. And definitely you guys can check them out and definitely hit them up if you need their services. There's the information right there. Follow the club, join now, ask the questions. Don't let somebody like that just fall by the wayside. Talk to them, get the information, see what you can do and see how they benefit you and improve your life as you go on. Thanks again for everybody tuning in. It's been a great show tonight. And I love each and every one of y'all. All right. So we definitely see you.
Brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, AMUN and Brother AMUN, and definitely Instructor Nate for coming on and giving us this great dialogue that everybody's going to go back and replay and get the great information that they need to protect themselves what's about to come. All right. So we love all y'all. Remember, tell a friend to tell a friend, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget, take this program and send it to everybody. If they open it and they use it, hey, you just protected some families. You just invested in saving some families. If they don't, then hey, those aren't the people that we need to be talking to anyways. All right. Those are the ones like Nate said. Those are the ones Instructor Nate said we ain't gonna be able to save.
And we're okay with it.
The important thing is that everyone has an opportunity. No one should be lost. No one should lose their life. No one should be unable to take care of themselves because they had no idea. All we can do is give an option. If you choose life, then we got it for you right here. But at least you will not be able to say, I didn't know or I didn't have a chance. Nah. You saw this. You got the game. You just chose to lose. So that's on you.
All right. Good night, everybody. Enjoy your day. Have the safe rest of the week and weekend as we see you guys next week. All right? Peace.
I'll say peace.
All right.
Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manversations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross.
and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If black people knew their glorious past, if black people knew their glorious past, if black people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best
A
interest.
place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage, we are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place